Hey, what's up, everybody? Your screen has been taken over by two Americans, two Spurs-loving Yanks, here today to bring you today's show. We've got some lovely guests in the back, but first, Alan, Team Tottenham Go, Raktos Madness. What's up, bro?
How you doing, my brother? Doing good.
So it's a nice, crisp 8 a.m. for you. Is that right?
It is. But
Nice.
it's all good. We're getting into the summer finally, starting to get summer weather.
Good deal. Yeah, same here. Actually, I have the air conditioning on today. I'm ashamed of myself, but yeah, it's definitely getting warm here as well. Hope everybody's doing good out there in Tottenham land. And speaking of people out there in Tottenham land, we've got two of my favorites here with us today. First, we'll bring in the ever-present Adrian Stroka. What's up, Adrian?
Fine, thanks. Looking forward to the show. I have no idea what we're going to be talking about, but there isn't. Well, I think we're going to be rehashing a lot of the news that's out there regarding transfer speculation.
A bit, yeah, a bit. But there's a little bit more. There's a couple games that I'd like to play and some questions I'd like to ask. And who better for games and questions than my usual partner in crime, the lovely Spanish Jose.
Beautiful.
Yeah. He's beautiful. He's knowledgeable. He's funny. He's got charisma.
I don't know about that, but afternoon, gentlemen. In Adrian, I say that, and good morning to my North American friends.
Thank you.
I hope you're all well. Our day is 2/3 of the way through. Yours is 1/3 of the way through, if that for you too. So There we go. So yeah, happy days.
Yeah, happy Friday. Happy Friday, everybody, too. It's Friday. So I'm sure everybody's happy about that. Adrian, you got any big weekend plans, buddy?
No, not really. Just play it all by ear. I'll be like doing my usual thing.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
isn't that much. Maybe a little bit of shopping combined with like keeping up to date with all things Spurs.
You've got to keep your Facebook page up to date. You've got to keep everybody in the know. And then, real quick, I'm going to get the link to that thrown up. Spurs Diehards. Boom, got it right here. Just wanted to throw up the link to Adrian's group. If you would like to become a member of it, just ask. Just send in a little invite thing. It'll be reviewed by one of the mods, and they will let you in. Here is the link to that. It's where you can find Adrian's group. Tottenham Diehards, TTID, Spurs Diehards, TTID. Yeah, good group. Lots of people in there, and a good place to find news. And look at this, guys. We've already got people in the chat. How is that possible already? Ryan G's here. First person to comment wasn't even Spurs. I love it. Ryan says, "Big up, Colin and Alan. Hope you're good." Big up to you, Ryan. Hope you are well too.
Hi, Ryan.
Wolves, the lone holdout on the VAR vote.
Yeah, that is crazy. We've got In a Hype in the house saying aircon beats onion ring armpits.
I like that onion ring armpits. I like that. I'm going to use that. I'm going to nick that In a Hype, right?
There you go. And then Ryan G's big up into you guys as well, because he's all inclusive. Ryan G. He does not leave anyone out. He's a good man. Daniel Coy says 200 million. Is that our budget then? It's the budget for the game that I want to play today. Maybe not the budget for the season, but and we'll get to that in a second. Audio Artisan though says afternoon chaps in chat. Big up Audio Artisan. We got Drew La in the building. Hi Drew. Hope you're good. Hope everything is good.
Hi Drew La.
And then In a Hype's come in with two names for assistant coach. Robbie Keane has just resigned as the manager of Maccabi Tel Aviv, which I didn't even know he was managing them. And then Iniesta, just because he's about to retire from playing. Yeah, those will both be two. I mean, there's no real.
But Robbie Keane has just won the league or the cup or something with them. So I'm quite surprised that he's resigned, because it's his breakout season as a coach on his own, or a manager, whatever you want to call him. And he won. And he took them far in Europe, in one of the European whatever they were, the league, Europa League or Conference, he took them quite far, to at least the quarter-final stage. So I'm quite surprised that he's gone because
unless Jose, he's been offered a better job somewhere else in
Yeah.
another league, or unless Spurs have come calling. I'd be surprised, but
Yeah,
why would you resign when you're riding high? You do it for more money, or maybe he's been offered a job now.
We seem pretty loyal to Ryan Mason, but then again, I don't know. Wouldn't be bad having more not academy grads, but former players and stuff come through, and that would be great. Donna Cullen is in the house saying what's up to all of us. Wagwan, Donna. Hope you are good. Yeah, guys. Let me get some music playing in the background here. Sorry, with the new intro, I always forget. I like to have a little bit of sound in the back.
Did we mention Harry Kill yesterday?
I don't think we did.
Yeah, we did it on my show.
Oh right, because I'm.
I wasn't.
So many podcasts I've forgotten. Right.
We talked about Harry Kill and Kevin Muscat.
Yeah, and because Harry Kill's in Japan now, managing the old club that he was assistant coach to Ange at in Japan. Why Hirioko or something like that? It's called something like that. And someone said they weren't doing too well. He's under the threat of the sack, and as he's worked with, I mean, ideally you'd want to bring a coach in that knows Ange ball, and Cure would know it. So, I mean, you can bring someone else in, but unless Ange fancies someone else, and he can't prize any more people away from Celtic, it would seem, Kennedy or another guy they mentioned. So,
see, I thought there was like a rule where we said we wouldn't for a year or something to that effect. But then we might go back in and poach.
Well, he didn't take the team with him, so maybe he just left like that. I don't know if there was any rule or anything, but yeah.
Jose, did you hear anything about that? Am I
No,
making that up?
No, people were speculating. The speculation, but there's speculation everywhere about managers leave certain clubs, and there's always speculation. Oh, there'll be a gentleman's agreement, or there'll be a verbal volley between people that you're not going to do this and you're not going to do that to your previous club, that you won't rape and pillage it. But yeah, there was nothing ever concrete that's come out. He might not fancy him. He might think to himself, Premiership is where I'm going to, and the standard is Scottish, and no further than that. Who knows? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I'm not going to speculate. It could be a host of different reasons, Colin.
Absolutely, for sure. And this is all mostly just speculation. But Alan, man, so forgive me for not knowing, but who served like as assistant manager last season? Ange's first season here. Who did he have as his assistant?
Chris Davis. Who's just gone to Birmingham City. He went Birmingham City yesterday.
See, wasn't on the show yesterday. Busy. Haven't even
so the news broke yesterday that Chris Davis was going to talk to Birmingham and was a favourite. I prepared a banner for it, and an hour before, whilst I was on the show, it was all over Twitter that he had actually left Tottenham and signed a 4-year deal with Birmingham. So that happened really quick. It broke yesterday, and he went yesterday as well.
And he was with Swansea, Liverpool, Celtic with Ange, with Brendan Rodgers rather.
Cool. All right. Well, that makes a lot of sense. I wondered why you guys were talking so much about it, but now I get it. There's been moves. That might be some of the only real news that's come out lately. Everything else has been just rumors and speculation. One thing I had seen, you guys, and I wanted to get you guys' opinion on this. With Conor Gallagher supposedly being one of the main targets for Ange since he's arrived. And Chelsea, being in a bad spot financially, it appeared they were going to need to sell players. Homegrown players would have been the best, players they didn't spend any money on to begin with. There'd be the most money returned, I guess, in that scenario. But apparently Chelsea don't need to sell is what I'm seeing today. And I just wondered if any of you guys had heard anything about that as well.
I don't believe that. The other rumour is that Conor Gallagher's going to stay at Chelsea. That will pay off Todd Bowley if he wanted to get money in. But the fact that Tosin had a Rabio on a free contract from Fulham has gone to Chelsea on big money tells me that Chalobah will be on the way out. Now, he can play at right back and centre back, and he might be okay. Because although we may have missed out on centre backs, you have to take in consideration if they're an experienced centre back like Tosin to Spurs, he's going to be asking the manager, am I going to be guaranteed a first-team place? And Ange's going to say, I can't guarantee anyone a first-team place. And Tosin, at his age, was he 25, 26, I don't know, he's not going to want to sit on the bench. I think this is a why when Ange's filling places to have 2 players in every position, this is why he likes to go for a more younger player. Younger players can afford to be more patient and sit on the bench, whereas an older player is going to want to be playing. So this is why when we look with Calafiore, who's 21 or something, or Borguano from Torino, who's 24. Yeah, I'm looking for certain positions. You think, you know, we're going to want a younger player and say, look, you got time on your side. You're only young. You know, you'll get your chance, right? Because we're going to be playing 48 games million. So be patient. Others want to come and want to demand a place in the first team squad. I don't want them anyway because no one has that right. No one has that right.
It's a good point. But I mean, with agents and you know, talking their players up, bigging their players up, being in their players' ear all the time. Yeah, players do kind of walk into teams expecting a first-team spot. And, I mean, we've had Poch in the past saying, you know, I don't sign you to be in the team. I sign you to train. Postecoglou seems like that same kind of guy. I get what you're saying. And that could be possibly, you know, that could be why Tosin was more apt to go to Chelsea. But, Jose, you said that he was born right by their stadium, that he's probably
3 miles. Yeah, it was 3 miles. He's come out. He's spoken already. He's born 3 miles from the stadium. So he says he's done a roundabout circle. So if he was born 3 miles from Chelsea, he wouldn't have been born that far from Craven Cottage because Stamford Bridge and Craven Cottage are about a mile apart anyway. So, but for me, what I will say is Adebayo's gone there, but that doesn't guarantee Adebayo a starting position because he's got the French boys to go up against. He's got Disasi, Badiashile and Fofana to go up against. So, and that's without Chalobah. So it doesn't guarantee him a first team spot. Now, I'm going to say this, and I'll continue to say this. Every team, football's changed, right? Years ago, you had an 11, and football's changed because years ago, you had 11, and Adrian remember these days, you had 11 players and no subs. Then you had 11 players and 1 sub. Then it became 11 players and 2 subs. And then it became 11 and 3. Then it went to 11 and 5 or whatever. So therefore, the game's changed. You had a starting 11, and that was your best 11. End of story. There wasn't all these rotations that you do now and stuff like that because there's more games. More games I don't know more games, but everything's condensed now. So therefore, you have to use squads more. So when you're buying players to compete. You're not buying players to pad out your bench. You're buying players to compete, to vie for a starting spot. Now, if Adebayo or whatever, I don't know what goes through his mind. I don't know what he was advised by his advisors or his agents and that. But if he feels that he's got a chance at Chelsea, then he's gone to Chelsea because he feels that he's going to get first team game time at Chelsea. That's why he's gone there. But with that, in saying that as well, Chelsea have got him on a free. People have got to remember that. They've got him on a free transfer. So they don't have to. Okay, they have to pay his wages and that, which ain't going to be extortionate. But they've got him on a free. They don't have to outlay any money. Chelsea are still in trouble.
I was going to say, do you think that's a sign that they?
Yeah, Chelsea is still in trouble. Chelsea still need to sell. I mean, you've got Newcastle chasing the other boy, Lloyd Kelly, on a free. Do you see what I mean? Because Newcastle have got to sell. So
they're not alone. They're not alone, Jose. Spurs win for Lloyd Kelly as well.
Yeah, but but they reckon that Newcastle have made a right big go for him and stuff like that. What I'm saying, Adrian, what I'm trying to get to, these teams are in trouble, are going for the free options, but they still need to push players on. They still need to move players out of the club. So, you know, at the end of the day, if you felt, I mean, I don't even know if he gave Tottenham any serious thought and thought to himself, well, I ain't going to get in front of Romero. I ain't going to get in front of Van der Ven. But football doesn't work like that. And we all should know this. Everybody gets an opportunity. Yeah, you're going to start with your preferred 2, but then you get injuries. You get suspensions. You know, you are going to rest players if they go into the red zone, which means that some players will get a chance to fill in and have a game here, there. They may get a sustained run in the team. If we had Adebayo or someone like that in our club last season, you guys know this already. They would have got a sustained run because Van der Ven was out injured. They would have got suspended run because Romero was out injured and suspended.
And what it tells you as well between the lines, doesn't it? It tells you Newcastle going for him. He's on a free. We know they're under FFP pressure. So, of course, they're going to go and offer him wages because it won't affect them under FFP, you know. So, we are rumoured to be interested in him. Now, he is one who would be probably prepared to sit on the bench behind you, Doggy, as a spare, because he can play left back as well as left centre back, you know. But I quite like the interesting link to Hiroki Ito at Leipzig, I think, or Leverkusen, or wherever it is.
This might be one I haven't seen before. Who's this now? Is he a winger? He's a winger, right?
Centre back. No, he's left-footed centre back, which is what we need. And he's got a release clause under 20 mil, you know. So if the club do the data analysis, you know, the little bit I've seen and heard of him, I haven't got a video up on him yet, but the little bit others have seen, he's got some good press. Well, they've had a good season, his club. So he has got a cheap release clause. So he may well turn out to be an option if we can't get. I would like Calafiori myself personally, but and he's 21, even though Bogwana's got a bit more experience at Torino because he's 24, but he's right-footed. So I don't know if you guys have had a chance to look at any centre backs at all.
Calafiori is a centre back.
Yeah. For Atalanta.
Oh, and they just won Europa.
Yeah, and it's interesting because their governor's over here now. Oh no, is it Atalanta or Genoa? Genoa. Yeah, because the reason that pricked my memory there was the fact that the Genoa CNO is coming to London to discuss the Spence deal. Right, this would be a good time for us to discuss Calafiori. Or like, look, are you interested in selling him or not? Does the player want to come? If the player don't want to come, move on. Don't waste time. Move on.
But does Calafiori play for Genoa?
I think so. Is it Genoa or Atlanta? Well, go and look it because I might be having a brain fart here.
You say there's no point speaking to a player if you don't play for that club. Older mate,
he plays for Bologna.
Okay.
Bologna, yeah, of course.
Okay. Can you give us Calafiori as well, please? Well, who's Calafiori? He's got nothing to do with us.
Sorry. No, the player I'm confusing with Genoa is Albert Abnson, because we were interested in the striker who plays the winger and through the middle. And there was a lot. Goodmanson, we was linked with him. Yeah, so my brain's confusing issues. Mind you, that's allowed. I'm 70 next birthday. I'm allowed these aberrations. I'm allowed a mental aberration now and again. You know what I mean?
It's all these double shift YouTube shows you've been doing lately, Adrian. Everything.
Yeah, the coffee's not working. I'm drinking far too much caffeine. I'll tell you.
Unfortunately, I can totally.
That is Adrian making his last appearance on Talking Ball.
You're done. That's the last one. No, I'm just kidding. Real quick, I just wanted to get through some comments. Daniel was saying that there might be some political reasons why Keane has resigned.
I saw his comments. I've seen his comments already.
Interesting stuff that I haven't had a chance to put much thought into yet. And then he says that, Chalobah isn't going to leave Chelsea's bench to be on our bench. You'll want assurances. I don't think that's what you were saying exactly, Jose. I think you were just saying that he's going to leave. You weren't saying it looked like he was going to leave to come here. Right? You mentioned Chalobah earlier because you said with them getting Tosin that you think that Chalobah's out.
No. What I said is that what I said about Tosin is Tosin. If he's going to Chelsea, he's not going to get a free rein into the first team because without Chalobah, they have three other French centre backs that he'd have to compete with. So there's four competing for two spots. If Chalobah was to stay, then he's competing with four players. So there's five.
So do you think Chalobah could go to Fulham or even Japhet Tanganga? Now he's on a free.
I've heard rumours right last week. Tanganga, because if he's linked with McKenna, he might go Ipswich. But now I'm hearing, or watching Jessie's podcast yesterday. She'd done a podcast on Rodon because he signed a year extension, and she on her podcast she was saying that Leeds now think they've lost the chance of signing Rodon because of the extra year that's been added to his contract, and that it could be that McKenna's the favourite now to take him to Ipswich. So I don't know. But in all honesty, Chelsea need to sell, and the players that have been rumoured for quite a while now, and you three all know this. The two players that have been rumoured for a while now Chalobah and Gallagher, because it completely every penny would go in their favour for FFP.
I think Chalobah will definitely go, but I get the feeling that if Gallagher is Chelsea through and through, I mean, if I was him, I'd see my contract out. Right, you don't want to give me Conor Gallagher. I think Chalobah will go, and I've got a feeling that Conor Gallagher will just dig his heels in and say, well, I love this club. I'll give this club good service. Look what you're doing to me now. I'm going to see my contract out last year. I'm going to go on a free, and I'll get a nice fat signing on fee next year. No, if I was him, seriously, I mean, he loves the club. And I don't want a player at Spurs that's got Chelsea running through his blood, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Chalobah, right? You've got to remember, guys, Chalobah is the Chalobah brothers, right? Because he ain't the first one to come through Chelsea. The Chalobahs have all come through Chelsea. They old Chelsea through and through, the Chalobahs.
I thought it was the same person. I swear to God, I didn't know there was more.
No, the other one, he was a centre midfielder, the other Chalobah. He ended up going to Watford, I think, and somebody else. But the Chalobah boys, there's more than two. There's two or three of them. They've all come through Chelsea. All of them have come through Chelsea. So they are Chelsea through and through. So
yeah, I don't doubt it. And the money helps as well.
I don't want to be there. The money never hurts.
Money helps by loyalty. Big wages help by loyalty.
Yeah, but like you said, if they're Chelsea through and through, I don't really want them either. And I feel like we've shown with our most, with most of our recent transfers that have worked out, that it's not, that it's not always going for the players that are Premier League proven. I mean, that never hurts. But
the thing with Gallagher gets me is like, because the rumours have been so strong, they've gained so much traction in all levels of the media, in all tiers of the media. Like, we can be pretty certain, you never know with Ange, he's thrown a few wobblers with his team selections in the past, that he wants a box-to-box number 8. I see good midfielders out there, but I don't see many box-to-box number 8s. I mean, unless you're going to go for... I mean, we would all, a lot of us would like a number 6 DM like an Onana who's 6'5" at Everton, who'd be a tank in midfield, probably another Wanyama for us. But is he box to box? I haven't seen enough of him. He's had a lot of reports because Jose, what do you know about Onana?
Do you know what? I think he's probably got time on his hands because he's young, Adrian.
Yeah.
But I don't see this outstanding player that other people see. Not at the moment. I watch him. I think he's too clumsy. I think he loses the ball far too often. Obviously, because of his gangliness, if you like, he picks up 1 or 2 more yellow cards than what he should do for some of the tackles that he puts in. Will he improve going to if you'd like, a bigger team than Everton? Possibly, because with better players around you, you should improve. If you're a decent player, you will improve with better players around you. But I can't see at the moment what all the hype is about Onana, personally. But that's not to say that he's not a good player. So I'm not saying that. I just can't see the hype at the moment.
I know what I'd like to see with his 6 pre-season games. Refuse Romero going to the Olympics. That's a no-no because that's optional. Clubs don't have to release their players.
They've refused him already. He's not going.
Yeah, right, fine. And I'd just like to see an experiment, and I've banged on about it, and I got pelters for it before the VDV even come to the club, and before we had Dragishin.
I'd like
to see him be given as a number 6. I'd like to see Romero. And then, mind you, because I think Dragison's good on the ball, and he could play the shotgun role then. And he could feed Romero. Romero could do the same thing, is what he's doing now, because he likes to drop a yard back and look forward to see what his options are, which haven't been much in our team, because you see more movement out of a corpse usually in front of him. So, but is that likely to happen? I don't know. We need to see if Ange does tweak things, but we need if he's going to make what we would consider a seismic change. You know what I mean? And I don't see it, but I would like to see it because he's got options. He can play a back 5. He can play a back. He can play a 4-3-3. He can play the 4-2-3-1. He could play a 4-5-1 even, and still keep his 2 wingers with one main striker up front. He could do lots. I mean,
it's
catch up with the chat because there's a few comments that have been made that I'd like to rebuttal but I can't because you need to catch up with it.
For sure.
Sorry.
Real quick, I just want to say, Soren, what's up?
Soren. He's
How's
talking
it
about
going,
Adrian,
man?
saying he's a YouTube superstar. He's
Oh,
talking about
absolutely.
Adrian.
How much he's been getting around. Absolutely. Everybody's having
Well, we need to see more of Soren online. Get him on. Send him a link. Send him the link.
Will do. Hold on 1 second. But yeah, so guys, so we've got Soren who's in the chat. Big up, Soren. Good to have you here, buddy. I'll get you that link in just a second if you do have time to pop on. This is one I didn't bring up earlier. Daniel saying that you say they might get an extended run in the team, yet we were playing Emerson Royale over Dragisin. I don't know if that's.
But when sorry, can I just say to that, Daniel, think of the timelines. We didn't buy Dragisin until January. The Van der Ven injury happened in October, because that's when we were without Van der Ven and Romero. But the sending us were after Chelsea, and the injury was after Chelsea. And from then up until January, we didn't have both of them players. So that's when he could have got an extended run in the team. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about since we bought Dragisin. I was talking about pre that, which we lost the players for what? 10 to 12 games? We lost Van der Ven? Something along them lines.
Something like that.
So he would have got an extended run.
And to be fairness and to back up what Jose said there, I mean, Ange wanted to have a look at Emerson at left back, and everybody, we should have played VDV. Look what happened when we played VDV at left back. He did a great job and all that. But hang on, let's be fair. Over the season, Emerson, Ron, Davies did a good job at centre backs, right, to steady the ship, didn't they? They did. There's no denying it. We wouldn't have finished fifth if we didn't. They didn't do as good as the first team, but they did okay. So I can understand Ange thinking, okay, we know you can play right back. Well, I want to have a look at your left back. Didn't work. Then he put VDV there. But although people, a lot of fans, I understand where they were coming from. We're trying to be clever out of the fact, we should have played VDV there earlier. Calm yourselves, right? Ange knows what he's doing. He's not a mug. He's a very experienced manager. I've been highly critical of him throughout the season for substitutions, the team selection at Fulham and other things, and tactically at times, but hang on, it's just my opinions on stuff, which count for nothing if I was sitting here with Ange, you shouldn't think. But so I can understand why you give Emerson a go, but
I also wonder if perhaps they give Emerson a go because they want to, just like they give Gio Lo Celso time, even though they don't give him much time per game, to feature him so that when it comes time to, like right now, to sell, they can say, look, they did well while they were on the pitch. They give other teams a chance to see them rather than just remember the days a year ago when he played. Now that,
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely would help with looking to move a player on, for sure.
Yep.
If they haven't seen the pitch, exactly like you said, what are you going to point to as to show their abilities or to prove what they are or aren't? Destiny 5, though, big up Destiny. Just want to say big up. He said we should help Chelsea with the why should we help Chelsea with the finances?
Exactly.
And I don't want their scummy players.
Hold on. He's got more comments. That's not the only one he's got.
Yep, he's got more. We missed the bus on Ward-Prowse, he says. And then Daniel's come in with kind of a rebuttal. He says, I don't get this. When people say, why should we help Chelsea with their finances? Well, if we gain a player from them who will improve our squad, I only care about Tottenham. Chelsea will find another buyer, which is
I agree with that 100%. I was going to say, I don't have the same pedigree as you at least Jose and Adrian with Tottenham. So for me, I just want to see good players come in, and if they're good for us, then just bring them in, regardless of where they come from,
or the price,
or exactly, or the price.
Yeah, 100%. So many people think that if a player doesn't cost at least 50 million, that they're not worth bringing into the club. Not always the case.
The Ward-Prowse comment earlier, right? I've got to disagree with that with respect, because whenever I heard about Ward-Prowse at Southampton, wasn't when he was getting man of the match, was when he scored one of his free kicks around the wall. Apart from that, I never heard that much media attention drawn to Ward-Prowse about having man of the match awards. He's a good player, but is he
probably slightly overhyped?
Yeah, sexy enough or good enough for us? I don't think it. What? I don't think it'd improve us, to be honest. I don't think a Ward-Prowse would improve us.
I don't know that he improved West Ham either.
A few years ago, maybe he would have improved us.
Yeah, because they had an awful finish to the season, didn't they, West Ham? So.
And then Destiny 5 is saying, because no one else is stupid enough to pay 50 million for Gallagher, only Tottenham are.
Destiny 5, so do I. So Destiny 5, all I'm going to say is take away the hat that you've got at the moment, put a neutral hat on, and just look at Gallagher and say, does Gallagher improve our midfield? And if you look at that,
40 mil, nothing more is in the last year's contract.
But look at Gallagher, but Gallagher does improve us, does he not?
Is he an upgrade on Højbjerg, would you say?
He gives us more energy.
God, yes. Oh, my God, yes. An upgrade on Højbjerg.
Look at Maddison. We got Maddison for what? 40 million with 1 year left on his contract. I wouldn't pay more than 40 mil for Gallagher with 1 year left on his contract. If Chelsea want more, we'll just sell it to someone else.
Destiny 5, you're coming in with some, I don't know, and I disagree with you, Destiny 5, because you're now saying that Gallagher was awful for 70% of the season. Gallagher has been the mainstay for Chelsea this season. Until Palmer started hitting these straps in the second half of the season, Gallagher's played well. Gallagher's been a minimum of 7 out of 10 every game this season, a minimum for Chelsea. And the reason why Gallagher was put in the midfield with Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. The three of them don't mix together. Chelsea looked awful with the three of them, but the player that played well out of the three was always Gallagher. He played better than the other two all the time. It's only because Fernandez has been forced out with an injury that Chelsea have now changed their system they play, and Gallagher now looks even better than what he did before because of the positional play that he has to play now. Gallagher improves us. Gallagher is better than Højbjerg, who's outgoing. Gallagher is better than Skip. So when you look at this, Gallagher would improve us. He would solidify the midfield that we have at the moment. So if we were going to keep Bentancur, Maddison, Sarr, Bissouma, and you added Gallagher in there and Bergvall, immediately you look at last season's midfield six, look at this, what could possibly be midfield six for next season, automatically improves. So I think let's get the right hat on. I'm not saying we're signing him, right? I'm not for 1 minute saying that we're signing him. All I'm saying is that I believe that Gallagher would be an improvement on some of what we've got at the moment. That's what I'm saying.
I completely agree with you, and I think that he fits in with the type of player that Ange wants in his midfield. He fits that mold, I think, perfectly, or at least what I can see is the mold of midfielder that he likes. I think that Conor Gallagher slots very nicely into that mold. Dragonese Nutso does not agree. Big up Dragon, by the way. Big up Dragon. Good to have you here, brother. Swaps in the house as well. We got Ronnie, but Dragonese Nuts says Gallagher is an overhyped Winks. That's what I think. Honestly, that's what I think of Ward Prowse. I think Gallagher's got a lot more to his game. He's more steel for one, better, just more hunger. He's much more box to box than Winksy. I feel like Winksy likes to sit back and dictate tempo, a lot like Ward Prowse. I don't know. To me, Winks is like a poor man's Ward Prowse, but there's not enough between the two of them for me. Real quick, Ronnie though is here saying Gallagher walks into our team. I definitely think that Gallagher could get into the team. I don't know. To me, if he walked into the team, it would be at the expense of Sarr, and I don't know if I would do that personally. What about you, Alan? Would you swap Sarr with Gallagher, like right off the bat, or do you think?
Does it have to be Sarr? Or could he take like Madison's place? Or
of course.
Because I would swap Madison before I'd swap Sarr. To be honest, Madison's been poorly, but I think
I would drop Bissouma before I dropped anyone personally.
Oh yeah. If it was Bissouma, then I would drop Bissouma first.
Same. I was just thinking we'd have Bentancur in for sure in the midfield. I think he's easily one of our best midfielders. He starts on a good day. I was thinking start Maddison just because we don't have exactly another creative attacking midfield player like that. Gallagher is similar, but I see him more of as a Sarr type player. Lots of energy, box to box, can win the ball back, but isn't going to play some of those more clever balls that Maddison was playing at the beginning of the season.
What about Eze? I would like in my perfect three, I would have had Eze in, and maybe Eze instead of Maddison, maybe Gallagher instead of Basuma, and then, as you said, like Lolo.
Well, if you look at it, if you've got a Gallagher and Eze in, or if you've got an Eze in, to me that pushes Basuma way down the pecking order because Sarr's going nowhere. Bentancur's on when he's fit. At the moment, he's my first pick. So then I'd pick Sarr because Maddison. If Sarr's been our best midfielder last season, and he was, even though he's young, he was our best midfielder and most consistent. So then you bring Eze into the team. All right, Maddison's going to look. People seem to think you bring him in the team. Well, that's your 11. You're going to go with that set 11 for the whole season. You're not, are you? Because you've got 48 games minimum. So like, there should be an opportunity for two 11s to play 24 games each, right? Not that they will. That won't be balanced out exactly like that. Because Vicario is going to play every game like he did this season, barring injury. So, yeah. If Basuma's going to have to get his and he's going to have to step up, and so is Maddison. Can
I make a controversial statement? I don't think Basuma's going to work out here.
I could see that, Colin. I could see that.
I don't think he fits Ange's system. I think he plays a different style. He just plays differently.
Oh, he's suited at the beginning of the season. It's in him. He's got the skill set. Now the question is like, have you got the grit to churn out enough consistent performances to warrant a place in the squad, let alone the team?
Yeah.
So we'll see. And the transfer window, good. I'm glad it's going to have players on their toes for their positions. It's been a long time coming. We've still got about 8 of the deadwood to get out, right? But we know they are. We know they ain't got a future.
Yep.
So,
with regard to Basuma, my heart goes out to him and his wife with that attack on him.
Yeah, no kidding.
Definitely
wasn't trying to. Yeah, I kind of hadn't been thinking about that. But yeah, no disrespect meant to the guy either. He's a good footballer.
But to buy a 250 grand watch, you could pay someone to follow you and tell you the time whenever you wanted to do that, couldn't you, all year round?
I might just do that. Yeah, if I ever come into a lot of money, I'm just going to hire a timekeeper person instead of buying a watch. That's a good idea. I want to say hey to some more people in the chat. Jishnu is here. Swap is in the house, who's got some good stuff to say. I'm going to get back to that too. I think his comments are kind of in regard to the title of the video. We got Jishnu in the house though, saying Gallagher is a number 8. We are already stacked with. Yep. So we're already stacked with 8s, and we need a proper number 6. Whilst I agree that a 6 on paper seems like what we do need, from what I hear and from what I've seen, Ange doesn't really play with like a dedicated out-and-out 6.
Do you know what, Colin? I've been on that bandwagon with you all season, but the more I see a Celtic, and I saw Celtic last year, McGregor plays the 6th role.
Really?
He does, doesn't he? Though McGregor does play the 6th role. Callum McGregor drops in. He makes a 3 in defence with the 2 centre halves. He splits the 2 centre halves. He drops in. He picks the ball up from the centre half. Now I know Ange keeps saying, "No, but I play with 3 8s." Right? But the work that McGregor does a lot of the 6 work. He does a hell of a lot of the 6 work. Possibly more 6 work than any of our Tottenham players have done this season.
Well, good. I think that's good. It's good to hear that.
Like I said, that's the more I look at it, go back and look at Celtic, the more I see McGregor as a 6.
Interesting. Yeah, I would have to go back and watch them some more as well. To be fair, I'm kind of parroting just a lot of what I've heard and heard Ange say himself even. But yeah, if McGregor was playing that, then I think the team would benefit from having a number 6. So if Ange would be willing to play one, that would be awesome.
These 6 preseason friendlies are going to be a sign of what's to come.
Oh, absolutely. Dragon, he's not saying Eze should be the priority.
Yes.
I completely agree. And I think that we've made him the priority, at least everything that I can tell from what's been reported and leaked to the media so far. Destiny 5 saying Chelsea were in the bottom half the season for a reason. Just because, sorry, didn't mean to do that. Ronnie's saying, though, that he's better than Basuma, better than Sarr, better than Lolo. You got to watch out with that one, Ronnie. Jose might come after you. Lolo is Jose's dude.
No, he's not. It's not. He's my dude. Bentancur, right? All you got to do is cast your minds back to the season that Conte was here. Bentancur was absolutely brilliant. Bentancur was absolutely brilliant. This is the first season that he was with us. He was absolutely brilliant. He's closing down on the ball. He's pressing of the ball. His press resistance. Everything was absolutely brilliant. You just needed another two Bentancurs to make your midfield, right? Now he's got the injuries, and when he came back, he came back too early, and he was rushing. He was already in manager's office 3 months before he came back, saying he wanted to play. He's an absolute lunatic, but he ended up coming to play. Gentlemen, you must have seen the game that we lost at home to Villa 2-1, where Matty Cash done him with that tackle.
Yes.
For that first half an hour, it's the best I've seen Tottenham's midfield play all season. Him and Lo Celso were an absolute dream for half an hour against Aston Villa until he got taken out of the game. Now, if you get that Bentancur back and fit, right, then we have got and I've said this all along, a serious world-class player on our hands.
Yeah.
And what I like about him, which you missed out, Jose, is he's always looking for the forward pass and to drive and push the team up the field, right? You get less sideways passing and backward passes for him. You don't see him backward pass. He's reluctant to have to force to make a sideways one, but I mean, he's always looking to drive forward. You know?
Definitely. If the pass isn't on, he'll move the ball forward himself. You're right. Yeah, I like it. I like that about him as well. Especially as we've suffered with the Harry Winkses of the world and the back passing, sideways passing for so long. So absolutely.
He should get a few more goals because he does buzz around opponents' penalty areas. So he should let a shot off now and again.
That's a good idea.
But for him, I'm surprised that you've got Lolo in there. I mean, I said, and I maintain, because I've got to stand by what I say, and all season I've said that for me, the more time that Lolo gets on the pitch, whether he plays well or not, every minute that he gets on that pitch is going to be beneficial for him and us next season. It's never about this season. It was never about this season. It's about next season with Bentancur. If people put all their eggs in one basket for Bentancur to be that guy this season, then I'm afraid to say your eggs cracked a long time ago.
And look at Sarr. What a ceiling that kid's got. I posted a clip of all the good stuff he did this season. You'll remember the break on the right for when he put the cross in for Maddison to score against Villa and between two defenders and slip it into the net, right? This is what Sarr gives you. He's got you can see there's so much more to come from him. And he has got a bit of the Patrick Vieira about him. I know it's a bit of a big bold statement to make, but he has, you know what I mean? In sort of his sort of style, sometimes he looks very easy and lackadaisical on the ball, doesn't he? You know what I mean? When he's got it, but that's his confident, close control, and he makes time for himself as well. He gives you a lot. He's had a hand in breaking up goals.
Yeah, and not only does he help in defense, but I mean, in the attacking third, he just always makes himself available. If there's ever anybody who needs an outlet, who needs to get the ball away from them, he'll take it even if he's in a tight spot.
He's just complete. He's growing into a complete all-round midfielder. I can't label him as 6 and 8 or whatever. I can't. You know what I mean? Because he's just
does a bit of everything.
He does. He does do a bit of everything.
Soren agrees. Says Sarr's only going to get better.
Yeah.
Swap's got a lot of things to say, but Swap says that he thinks that Gallagher and a 6 will be signed, but the 6 will be the third priority after winger and attacking midfield. Interesting. And he also was saying that he feels like Eze and Maddison will be used and they will interchange their positions a lot. That also sounds like a great thing to me. I've kind of been calling for so Swap. I know this is probably a while ago that you posted that, but let me know. Do you think that either one of them will be playing in the front three, or do you think they're both going to be in the midfield? And then I'll ask you guys the same question. If we got Eze, would he be playing up front? He
didn't play on the left. Go on, Anthony, you go.
Yeah, I was going to say, for me, right, I don't want people to shoot me, but I said while you two were going away to your toilet breaks or doing whatever you were doing earlier, I was left with Alan and me talking. Just before the show started, you both went away, didn't you? And it was just me and Alan, and I said to Alan, do you know what? I would not see it a bad window if we got Gallagher, Eze and Tony.
Yeah,
that improves us no end whatsoever. All 3 English players, that improves us no end. And then I could see Eze, Tony, Son, Maddison, Gallagher, Bentancur, or Sarr as being your front six. And for me, there's energy there, there's skill, there's strength, there's everything that you need to have. So
yeah, I mean, I'm not against, and because he has played there and scored goals there, I'm not against Sonny playing on the right wing, not at all. He cut in an away game at Leicester and scored a curler before half-time a few seasons ago. He ran from the halfway line on the right when we were at Wembley against Chelsea, gave David Lewis, left him for dust and scored a goal then. He scored plenty of goals on the right-hand side. Against Man City, when we were in the Champions League, he got the goal at home from the right. His ball nearly went out of play, cut in and got a goal. I mean, Son's good. So if people are worried about Johnson and have doubts, they want to see more of Kulusevski's debut season form, you could play Son on the right. That would free Eze to play on the left, because then you wouldn't have to play Werner, right? You could play Eze or Solomon if he comes back into the team. It can play on both sides as well. So you could play Eze on the left. Then is it going to be Jimenez with Richarlison in the middle? You know, is it going to be, or is it going to be Tony? Because they're the two main ones linked. Those rumours have got the strongest traction. But rumour is Jimenez has said yes. And I'm not sure if Ange fancies Tony, but that's only because of the baggage. And people have said he's got a bit of an attitude. So don't know.
And Swap's pointing out that Maddison could play on the left too. And I like that because that's something I always kind of was wondering why we didn't try during the season.
Good players should be able to play anywhere, mate. It's as simple as that. If you're a good footballer, you should be able to play anywhere. Now, the other thing I will say is for those that have followed Sonny, and if you've seen the Sonny documentary, right? It was his dad that coached him as a kid, weren't it? It was his dad that put him through his drills and paces, and he's equally adept. He's equally adept shooting with his left or his right foot. Okay, his right foot stronger, but boy, he's got a great left foot as well. He can shoot with his left foot. He scored some worldies with his left as well as worldies with his right. So therefore, you know, to like Adrian said, to stick him out on the right, I wouldn't have no fears. He could either take someone. He could take someone both ways on the right, more so than what he does on the left. You know, because right foot is his more natural foot, so he could take a defender both ways. He does take a defender both ways playing on the left, but more often than not, he comes in, doesn't go wide past the player. Where on the right, he could do both. He could equally go past the player as well as cutting into his left foot.
And then when your opponents are tired, you can bring on Werner and Johnson to skin them 20 minutes to go.
I wonder who used to say that, Colin.
some Spanish guy.
Some guy used to say, "Yeah, just save it. Pace kills."
yeah. I can't remember his name. Some YouTube guy. But yeah, I mean, everything that's been said, there's definitely an argument for it. I see a lot of comments too, people saying that, you know, we need to get Eze done before the Euros, or if he has a good Euros.
Have you done swaps? Sorry, did you do swaps starred thing or not?
No, thank you for that. So basically, I had asked a question in the title of the video, basically saying, you know, you're in charge of transfers. You have 200 million to spend. I said Euros. What 3 players do you bring in to improve the squad as much as possible? And I actually have a banner for it right here. And so I think that's what he was coming back to. He says priority signing, and then the rest of the money that can be kept for the transfer fund will be used to sign other miscellaneous targets. And so I think that's what Swap was referring to here. Was maybe answering that question.
Before answering your question, then can we clarify a few things before any of us answer this?
The player doesn't have to want to come. I mean, like, this isn't. We don't have to take that into consideration. You don't have to think, would they come to Spurs? Irrelevant in this argument. They just
right. So for me, the clarification that I want, though, Colin, wasn't that. The clarification that I want is when I used to look at the transfer window, and before PSIs, PSR, BBC, ITV, SNES, Super Nintendo, before any of all this crap all came about, right? It used to be that you used to have a pot of money, you used to go out and buy players. So when we're saying, and Adrian will probably tell me rightly or wrongly here, right, if we said, argument, and don't quote me on the figures, if I said we had a pot of 140 million, all right, are we saying that with the pot that we've already got, we can then spend our incoming money this transfer window as well. Is that what we're saying, that we can do that? Or does that transfers coming in go towards the pot for next year?
For sake of argument, let's just say that this year.
Okay, well then, therefore, we would have more than 200 million to spend. Is what I'm just about to say.
Yeah,
you're saying,
I think
we could up it to 250.
We've got about 150 million to spend without player sales. We had that little bit of fun yesterday, thinking we could get 94 million in. But let's put it this way: we'll get enough in to fund January, right?
So
at least 2 players.
So the game that you want us to play, then, Colin, is you want us to pick. If we were, we can only pick 3 players at 200 million. Yeah,
3 players.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And
So I was trying to think. Basically, I know that you couldn't do a whole lot other than make our first 11 stronger. That we'd still, not be that deep of a team. I was thinking though, just for fun, that Leicester, when the year they won the title, I know the stars aligned. Everything that happened perfectly. But they didn't have a very deep squad either. Obviously, they had an insane striker who couldn't stop scoring goals. But yeah, so just whichever 3 players would help us the most in getting a trophy or finishing higher in the league, or I said which could help us win the league, but I know that's not going to happen. But guys, Ellie's here before we get started.
Hello.
Ellie,
Long
how
time
are you?
no here.
Her name deep bows, please, and
Yeah, you don't have to bow. You just have to courtesy.
so
don't bow, just throw fivers.
You're in
that
time.
would be
You're in time for the game, Ellie. So I just want to clarify one more thing. The 200 million. This is a fanciful game. We're saying that we've got 200. We may not have 200. But we're going to say it's right. So
Maybe we have
Colin,
more.
with that 200, are we spending that 200? Like, are we saying our answers? Are we saying that we're spending 200 dead 200 this way, or are we saying that we can bid for players that are worth a lot more, but we'll just pay them off over the next 5 seasons? But it still amounts to spending 200 this season. Which way are we looking at? Are we allowed to do that?
We're amortizing that. You don't pay money up front for players.
Adrian's right. And that's
It's got to be structured. Down payment and the rest of the money's paid over the player's contract usually.
Yep.
But with someone like Eze, if you had 200 million to spend, you know that you're losing 68 of that straight away, because there's no amortizing that deal. They want that money up front. The same as what happened with Porro. They want that money.
Well, we'll wait and see how that's structured. They won't be getting those, because 8 million of that is rumored to be add-ons. If that's the case, they'll be talking about a structured deal. I believe we're going to get him early in the window, which opens next Friday. But I think we'll get him early. But I think we'll agree there's up to the 55, 60 mil of add-ons.
Okay. This is regardless whether the players will come or not. It's just what we want for 200 million. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's got to be realistic though as well.
Okay. I'm going last. I've already got my 3.
I don't mind going first unless you lot want to go before me.
I've got my 3 and I'm going last.
Adrian, I'd love to hear what you've got.
1 3.
Because that's what it says on the blue thing.
Oh,
it says 3 players, don't it?
It does. And so I was just
if you look at the banner, Adrian, it says 3 for 200 million.
I didn't look at the banner. I was late on the show. I do apologize.
He stuck up a minute ago, and the thumbnail says the same thing: 200 million, 3 players.
Yep. So
I would go for Eze, Vlahovic at Juventus. I've always wanted, and as much as I like Calafiore and would like him in, I don't think centre back is that urgent. Now we've got Dragusin and we've got 3 kids, Phillips, Tरणट and Vaskovic coming in next year. So I'd want to help the back out. So I'd really like to go to Juventus and get Gambiaso as well, because he can play left back, right midfield, right midfield. He's 24. I think about to sign a new contract there, so that may be unlikely, but he would really fill a lot of holes,
Definitely. No, I like those answers, especially because sorry, who was the last fella again? I'm gonna look him up right now.
Gambiaso.
I would never have thought of him,
because I don't think we'll get Hakimi.
Hey, crazier things have happened, right?
Yeah.
You know what? He's getting a bit older though. As the years go on, we might get him.
Maybe at some point.
Yeah.
In a Perisic type deal. It's very, very twilight of his career.
So let's confirm the 3 that Adrian's gone for is
Eze, Cambiaso,
Dusan Vlahovic.
Okay.
Who's going next then?
Last 2 are for you.
I'll go next.
Go on, Alan.
Okay, so I would get Eze. I would get Alexander Isak, and probably go with Ito. So I get one in each position. Yeah, that's what I would
awesome.
go for.
That's good.
Heraclo Ito from Germany, yeah? Left foot centre back. Yeah, cool. Good selection.
Yeah, absolutely. It all kind of depends on what positions you think are going to be obviously most important. But yeah, I mean, Eze is a good choice just because of his versatility. I like that. I think that he's going to be in mine as well. I would go Eze, Isak, and maybe people will think I'm crazy, but I think I still think Paulinho would be a good signing for midfield.
Who did you say what your 3 were?
Myself?
Yeah.
Eze, Isak, and whoa.
That's what I just saw. Did you just say the 3? Because Destiny's already said them.
That's insane.
We can't have Colin and Destiny agreeing.
No.
You know what I mean?
We can't.
It's not.
We can't.
It's just not on.
No. So if I had to pick a different midfielder, I definitely think that we need Leo. What's up, dude? I definitely think that the midfield is an area where we need to strengthen, especially if we want something good to happen. I don't know. We just don't have the ball retention in midfield that I would prefer us to have. Those are definitely my 3 players. Let me think of a new midfielder. Those are my 3 positions.
Fine. No, you've picked 3. That's fine. It's just funny that.
Wait, who are Collins? I missed it.
Literally the exact same ones that Destiny
they are.
put in.
Eze, exactly.
Isak,
what
and
Destiny
Paulinho.
went for. Right.
Interesting.
Queen Elsbells.
Yeah.
You're free.
Right.
200 million. You can bring 3 players in.
Yeah. I'll bring in Paulinho because I love the player. I think he's got a bit of shithousery. He's aggressive like Romero. We lack aggression in the team, and the aggressive teams win things, right? So I think he'll be in fact, even though he's on the wrong side of 29, I think he'll give us 3 years, right? Because he's a fit boy as well. And he's
Ellie, little thing. We're all on the wrong side of 29, mate.
Yeah, no, I'm well. I'm double 29 and a few more. Right. So
Sound that bad,
and then I'd go for Dusan Vlahovic, and then I'll go for another roaming striker like Jimenez, because we lack firepower. So if we've got creativity in the team, like Basuma and Maddison can create, but they were a bit lacking towards the end of the season, mainly because they were given a lot of treatment. They were getting watched and marked and everything, but they have to learn that they have to step up. But I think those 3, if not, I'd go for Lukaku, because he can still score.
Really?
He can still score, man. And he's eager to come back to the Premiership and prove himself for the 3rd time.
I was going to say, yeah.
Time. Yeah, because he went to Chelsea, then he went to Everton, then he went to Italy, then he came back to Chelsea. So this is going to be his 4th stint. And my brother was talking about him the other day. He goes, I'll take Lukaku as a spare striker. Maybe someone more experienced who can get you 20 goals at least. And his shooting is fabulous.
Yeah. I hadn't given him much thought.
Yeah. He can score goals, the boys. Everywhere he's been, he's scored goals.
That's an interesting thought. Do you remember when he and Kane were thought of as like equals and people couldn't decide who they thought was the better player? I know. How times have changed.
No, I think Kane's the better all-round striker, and he can score more goals than Lukaku. But Lukaku can keep up to a point, and he's scored goals everywhere he's been. And it'd be a very good addition with Vlahovic. Have him on the bench even and bring him on. He can score goals for us.
Does Richarlison stay in that hypothetical?
I think he'll be the 3rd choice then, won't he?
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
So
You don't get rid of players for the sake of it. You want to have a strong squad of
Yeah.
all of players that you can possibly have. Don't just get rid of players for the sake of it. You bring in players that better your team and better the starting 11, and keep what's good. What's not good enough, you get rid of. And, you know, at the end of the day, if you have to have 3 centre forwards in your team, or in your squad,
and especially when one of them is Richarlison, who can play on the wing. I know that he's not great at it, but
he is versatile. And Lukaku, I'm just looking him up. I don't even know how old he is. He doesn't look that old. I reckon he's in his 30s though. But he's still got juice. He's still got juice to give him and he's got a point to put. I like the idea of Vlahovic though, because he's so powerful. You know, he'll bring goals to the Premiership, 100%.
Absolutely. Looks like Kate has come in the house. Big up, Kate.
Okay.
Saying hi to all of us.
Give us your 3 players in the chat, and Jose.
She did.
A load of people have given us 3 players already.
I was going to say, so I was going to go through Destiny's. We've already seen his. He and I were on the exact same page. Kind of scary. Ronnie is saying Paulinho, Eze, and Elise, which is, I don't think that's a pretty good one, man. A lot of people were saying they wanted both Eze and Elise from Palace, so definitely a good one there. We've got Soren with his saying Eze, Tapsoba, and Vlahovic. And then Ellie, just real quick. You said Vlahovic, Paulinho, and Lukaku were your 3, right?
Yeah,
okay,
because
cool.
I would like to have another top striker on my bench. So if Vlahovic is not cooking, we bring on Lukaku to cook.
Throw Lukaku in. Yeah. Especially with the way that Ange plays and how the service kind of seems to be. And with those low crosses flash in front of goal. Yeah, just stick a foot out.
He doesn't have to do a lot of running around because he's not the most hard-working striker, but he can finish. He can finish. That's one thing for sure.
He couldn't press a pair of trousers, could he?
That's right.
Not his game, is it?
We'll have to bring him on quite late, so he doesn't have to do no pressing. Just tap it in.
There you go. Yeah.
Mind you,
a goal, he would be good.
Haaland doesn't do. He strolls around in some games, but he still gets 40 odd goals a season, mate. You know
I know. That's because he's got De Bruyne feeding him.
No kidding. And he's just a freak. That guy. I don't know. I could go on for a while about him.
Jose sat on the fence as well. Wanted to go last, see.
But Kate says Eze, Zubamendi, and Tapsoba. The defense definitely, Tapsoba is a player that we've been linked with, that we've looked at pretty close. And then I got to learn about Zubamendi real quick. Anybody have like a quick?
Zubamendi is a combative midfielder, and he's very tenacious. His movement is fantastic. Right, he's very fast, quick with the passing. You know, it'll suit Ange Ball, definitely.
He'll be at the Euros for Spain.
Yeah, just keep an eye out for him.
Well, we got VDV instead of Tapsoba. Still a good call, Tapsoba.
Yeah.
I always like the look of the Hincapia, like the left-footed.
For Hoffenheim, I think. Oh wait, is it Leverkusen?
I think it's Leverkusen. Only there with Tar and. And Tapsoba, and the 3 of them there together. Tapsoba, Tar, and am I getting this wrong?
They all play for Leverkusen.
Probably am.
Yeah, they all play for Leverkusen. Yeah,
that's probably what.
Brilliant, weren't they?
Awesome team. Yeah, absolutely.
They were absolutely stunning. I think they didn't lose a game for 50 games or something. You know, that's amazing.
And Cappy's left-footed as well. So
But how much? I don't know if Ange is shown to care about that as much as some managers. You know how there are managers who want to make sure they've got a left-footed center back on the left, a right-footed on the right. But some managers don't seem to care. Some managers will kind of just play, 2 right-footeds. I don't know how much that matters to Ange. But
as much as they're good calls and DMs that have been picked out, I just strongly believe that Romero would be better and all-round quality than them and could do everything they can do. Plus,
in a midfield role, you're saying?
Yeah, in that CDM role.
I think he's got that much quality that he could do it.
Who's his competition for that role
in midfield? Though he used to Romero in Italy, he didn't play in midfield, but he used to step in midfield. But he does that for us now because he's got 5 goals.
He steps up in midfield all the time, doesn't he?
So I'm trying to think about the Argentina national team. I've heard people say that he won't want to play He won't want to play as a midfielder because that would kind of ruin his spot in the national team, perhaps, if he's not playing regularly at center back, where he has predominantly or maybe only played for Argentina. Who would be his direct competition for defensive midfield in the Argentina squad? It would be somebody like
Otamendi, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otamendi's a centre off. He's not a centre midfielder.
McAllister.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, McAllister, Enzo Fernandez.
Enzo Fernandez.
They're all playing the midfield.
He's been money well spent. Enzo Fernandez.
He's the one who was at Man City, wasn't he? Otamendi's the one who was at Man City. Yeah, he's a central defender, isn't he? Yeah.
So basically, I guess what I'm saying is I don't think he gets into the national team ahead of some of these guys in that defensive midfield
I think he
position.
can get ahead of McAllister because I think he's a very good player. McAllister's good as well, but I think Romero's got a bit more about him.
So Destiny 5's made this comment. I just pulled it up, Colin, quickly.
Yeah,
Right.
of course.
And the reason why I've pulled this up, right, is because that's how we sit at the moment.
Yeah.
Things could change. If we went in for Gallagher, Eze, or Tony, then they would be a Tottenham player in the squad.
And who would have thought? Who would have thought you'd seen the day where 4 Crystal Palace players were in the England squad?
No shit, absolutely. That is crazy.
Right, do you want me to give you my ones or what? Because I've just been waiting steadily.
No, we don't know, mate.
So I'm gonna give you Jose's, and then I'm gonna give you Daniel Levy's.
Yay. Okay.
So Jose's free. Jose's free would be Kvaratskhelia from Napoli.
Yep.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, the winger.
Dusan Vlahovic.
Yes.
Right.
Get
And
in.
then in midfield, I would either get one of either Coop Miners or Edison as to be our 6. Just one of them two. They both play for the same club, so I can only take one of the two. My alternative to them 3 is Eze, Nico Williams, Manuel Ugarte.
Yeah, they're bloody brilliant, all 3 of them.
I don't know anything about Manuel Ugarte.
Manuel Ugarte plays in a midfield 3 with Bentancur and Fede Valverde for Uruguay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Ugarte is the 6. Out of the 3, Ugarte is the 6. Ugarte currently plays for PSG, but they prefer Vitinha to Ugarte. They paid money for him. They took him from Sporting Lisbon. Rumours were that loads of English clubs were looking at him. He went to PSG. He's not getting the game time. Luis Enrique fancied Vitinha instead. So therefore, if Ugarte is saleable, he wouldn't cost you the earth.
He's still young too, 23 it says. So if we were to get him now,
he wouldn't cost the earth. So why I've done an alternative is because
what's his long range passing like? Because I sort of half hoping Ange would go for a number 6 rather than 2 8s that do the work of the 6 at the same time. If you had a 6 that like Romero that can do a bit like Romero Toby used to do, that could really ping a long ball.
Well, as I said, the 3 of them play for Uruguay, and they're a fantastic midfield 3. Valverde, Bentancur. Well, Valverde's at Real Madrid. He's fantastic. The youngster as well. He's quite young as well. I think out of the 3 of them, Bentancur's probably the oldest out of the 3. But you've got Fede Valverde, Bentancur, and Ugarte in midfield for Uruguay. They are absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I have a Ugarte compilation going on my other monitor now, so I can get a little look at it.
Brilliant footballers, Uruguay. They go under the radar, but if you look at their footballers, they produce some fabulous. I mean, we had one on his late career, Poye.
Where did they play the other night? Does anyone know? Because Leo went to the game. Mexico, Uruguay. But where was the game played? Because Leo went to it.
It must have been in Colorado then.
Been near him, isn't it? It must have been near him.
Because he's done a vlog. He went to the game.
I'll get up the venue. Hold on.
I'll say it looked from the inside. It looked like the stadium there in Denver.
Because he had his Mexican top on and everything, Leo. Leo went to the game. So.
And Darwin Núñez actually scored a hat trick.
He got a hat trick for Uruguay. Yeah.
I think Darwin Núñez is a great player. I think that
I'm jury's out on him yet.
Well, do you know what?
Pelestri scored the other.
Yeah, do you know what? I think we did a show earlier on this week where someone in the chat said, I don't know who was on the show, but someone in the chat said, "Would you take Darwin Núñez?" Yeah, and I think most of the people that were on the show said, they would take Darwin Núñez. What's he, 22, 23?
He's just a baby. Yeah,
he's another one who's got plenty of time.
It's good news that Bentancur lasted 90 minutes.
89, yeah, he came off in the 89th minute, didn't he?
It says 90 here, but maybe this is wrong.
That's all right. 89, 90 minutes is still a full game that he played.
Yeah.
He's 24, by the way, for Nunez.
I'm
but
trying
still.
to find the venue. Where will it say the venue on? Copa America.
Ronnie says it was in Denver.
Nice.
Oh, it's in Denver.
Yeah, Ronnie's telling us. Ryan G says Denver, I think, as well.
Denver,
Colorado. We appreciate you.
Two people in the chat helping us out by telling us it's Denver.
Netherlands won 4-0 versus Canada as well.
And did you see?
Suck it, Canada. No, sorry.
See Van der Ven's. Did you see Van der Ven's run that they've put on the?
Yeah.
It's one of the clips on Twitter about he played left back, didn't he?
He was bombing up that left hand side.
He played a 1-2. He played a 1-2 with the centre midfielder, and he's gone for the return. He was just inside his own half. He's gone sprinting down the line, outdone two of their players just sprinting after the ball. Got the ball about 10 yards from the touchline, crossed it straight in, and the Dutch player fluffed it up. But he absolutely roasted two of their players on a foot race down the line.
I just watched him again. Yeah, he's a machine. We got really, I don't want to say lucky with him because we scouted, we did our due diligence, but we got a great one with him. And I only hope that he stays here for years and years and years to come. He's
what we shouldn't forget about this transfer window, which no one's gone on to just yet. No matter who we get in a window, don't forget that although the window goes 2 weeks into the new season, when the window closes, I think we're still allowed to bring loans in or loans to buy. So that is another powerful option. But I think they want to get their main targets in first, obviously.
You can only bring loans
come into the equation.
You can only bring loans in, right, up until the 2nd of September. You can't bring them beyond that unless they're on a free.
Okay.
Yeah.
Free agents.
The loans close when the window closes. But the thing
season starts 17th of August
and it closes
the window goes in for another couple of weeks in case you get
2nd of September. Closes the 2nd of September. But then again, Saudi Arabia and I think it's Turkey. They go further 2 to 3 week their window. So therefore they're able to still bring players in after the window closes in Europe, and they can either buy players for permanence or get loans in at the end. That's how and Bailey left us last season. It was after the window had closed that Galatasaray came in for him because the Turkish window was still open. And they did that with Sanchez as well, but they bought Sanchez and loaned Ndombele.
Interesting stuff.
I actually do really like loans to buy. Try before you buy. I mean, I quite like that, It makes players try hard while you're here because they think if they want the move, they've got to show it.
But then you might have an Adebayor on your hands who will only perform when the contract is up for grabs and then fall off later. That's the only thing you got to worry about. But I just wanted to highlight this. Destiny was talking about Ellie's 3, and he said he'd take Lukaku as a sub striker. But he's a battering ram. Only a loan deal would make sense for him.
I agree.
And I'd bite your hand off for a loan deal for him. And I'm not even sure how much he would command as for transfer fee if we were to just buy him outright.
It'd probably demand more than Werner.
He's on big wages.
He's on big wages. Oh, my door's going, lads. I'm just going to answer my door.
Yeah, of course.
I've been knocking all day. It's ridiculous.
She's got no husband now.
Visitors. So Ronnie's saying with his 3, we could have Vicario, Porro, Romero, VDV, Udogi, Paulinho, Lolo, Matters, Eze, Son, Elise. Yeah, that is a very strong team. Stronger than
that's bringing in Paulinho, Eze, and Elise for Ronnie.
Yeah. I think we would absolutely look better. I still think though that, in my opinion, I want a new striker that'll be able to play like actually. I don't want any like winger hybrid or winger striker hybrids. I think this system we're like desperately missing an out and out striker. But yeah, Ronnie absolutely would be an awesome team. We've got Kate saying hey to everybody. So I'm way behind on these. There you go. Ryan G. He's saying he'd take Eze, Openda and Zubamendi. Openda is another player that I have to look at.
Striker out in Germany.
Okay.
Plays for RB Leipzig, I think.
What's the age looking like on him? I can look him up.
He's quite young. He's youngish as well. He's not. He's quite young.
Daniel,
probably not as young as Benjamin Sesko, but he's still young enough.
Daniel saying Eze, Openda, and Paulinho. We've got Kate's loving the Openda.
Cool.
Yeah, idea. Nice. Who else we got here? I just want to see if anyone else had thrown in more. I want to say big up to Matthew. Says big up comrades. Matthew, what is up, my man? How's it going?
Matthew.
Well. Rob Belcher says if we get Isak and Eze, that's a great window, even with Werner. If we got Isak, we would absolutely be in for a treat. I think Isak is the missing piece of the puzzle.
He's not coming.
I know, sadly, but wouldn't he be just absolutely phenomenal in this system, though? I think that he would be a complete menace. Romero in the center of a back three as a hybrid six. That's a pretty good idea. But will we see it? I don't know. Vlahovic, Eze, and Kessié, would be Dragons, and that's a good shout as well. I've heard little grumblings about Kessié, but since we really were supposedly in for him 3 summers ago, I haven't heard a whole lot.
To McKennie at the same time, weren't we? Both of them we were looking with.
Yeah, with Conte, I think. Jose, rival fans on Football Terrace were saying, are Spurs surely going to finish above Palace next season, considering the form Palace had in the end when asked about expectations from us next season? Oh, so are Spurs surely going to finish above them? And then Graham saying, while Ange wants to win the league. And who wouldn't want to win the league, though? I mean, you've got to – I would be more worried if it looked like he didn't want to, win the league, or if he wasn't saying that. I think that's constantly kind of people use that as a stick to beat him with, the fact that he said that, he wants us to be competing for the league next season. But what else would you have had him say? I don't know if you guys agree, but I don't think that he could have he would have been crucified for either answer, I think, in that scenario.
Gonna see
for what I will say to Graham's comment there is that look, I'll say it again, what I've said before. Glasner is a very, very good manager, right? He was a good manager before he went to Crystal Palace. He's a very, very good manager. He can set up a team really, really well, and he's a good coach because he makes players better. There's no doubt about that, right? And so for me, yeah, I think he will make Crystal Palace better. Crystal Palace will be different to what they have been probably for about the last 10 years. He'll change Crystal Palace. It'll be a different system, with a different way of playing and stuff like that. But there's one thing improving your players by coaching and stuff like that, and there's another thing having good players within your squad. Now, Crystal Palace, if you take out, we're going to have to include Adam Wharton in now. If you take out any of them 4 that are representing England, and you take out Elise as well, if you take some of them players away, it lessens their squad. So they would have to do some shrewd recruitment just to be where they are now, if they were to lose some of their players. And to go beyond where they are now, they'd have to do some shrewd recruitment and bring in even more than what they've actually got to improve. Someone's got music on. Right, I can see them improving. Next year, as I said.
Sorry, that was me, Jose. I apologise.
Right. I can see them improving, right, as a team. But will they finish higher than Tottenham? Nah. Because people for Tottenham will improve as well. Not only with getting personnel in, but I think that I hope I'm right, and it's my thoughts, it's not based on facts. Us having a pre-season with the players already in, not flying all over the option and having a game against the Lion City Sailors, and then not having a game because it's been called off because you've gone in monsoon season. It was an absolute mad show last summer. We seem to have got our act straight. We've got 6 games to play this pre-season. Our pre-season seems to be panned out already. We know what we're doing. We know how long we're going to be on the grass for. We know when our first game of the season is going to be, so to speak. So we're going to get better. Other teams will get better, but we're going to get better as well.
Mhm.
Some teams will regress.
Yeah.
And Palace will only regress. Palace will only regress, in my mind, if they cannot build a competent squad. But I fear that Palace are going to lose some players, but it depends on what they can bring in over and above what they lose.
That Mateta of Palace is very good. He's a big unit, isn't he? Mateta. It's got, I don't know how many goals he scored.
He did in the second half of the season when Glasgow came in early. He was given a chance to play, but before that, Hodgson and everyone else that had him before that, they weren't playing Mateta.
I know.
It's
Probably why they weren't doing as well.
From the little I've seen of Palace, I mean, in Germany, Glasgow played with wing backs, didn't he? I'm sure he did. Did he?
And he plays with wing backs here now. He's playing with. They bought Munoz. Yeah, he's gone to a 3-5-2 already with them.
Yeah, because to me, a good manager, if you come with a footballing philosophy and you look at your squad and you believe they can adapt it, then fine, you adapt your philosophy. But if you think you haven't got the players to adapt to your philosophy, then a good manager will change until he's got the players to adapt to his philosophy. This is where I think Ange is coming to criticism for some of the Spurs fans, right? They think we could play better systems, and we all think we can play a back five, but it's not his philosophy, is it? So even a back four, So Ange must believe the players can do the job. Otherwise, you could accuse him if he's banging his head against the wall.
Yeah. So with Palace, he went to a 3-5-2. He bought that Munoz in. So Munoz is right wing back. And his left wing back is Tyreek Mitchell.
Yeah,
so
that name sounds really familiar to me.
And then they
was he in the
played
England
with
squad?
Isn't he Ledley King's cousin?
No, that's Ben Johnson from West Ham.
Oh, that's the other one, the West Ham guy. Yeah,
West Ham,
I always get confused with those two.
Released on a free, Ben Johnson. He's a right back.
Ben Johnson.
He's quite young and he's been released on a free.
What was he released? I mean, it seems silly because he's only
the
young.
Contract, he didn't agree a contract with them, and he's been released.
Well, we could snap him up. He's a really decent player. And I reckon Ledley King would take him under his wing and make him into another Ledley King.
Good afternoon, Mark. By the way, Mark's in the house. I'm saying good afternoon to Mark Cook.
Yes, big up, Mark. Good to have you here, buddy. Real quick, some other comments. Destiny is saying we could go on a scary good run again, but it comes down to squad depth. Will we have it? I doubt it. And you're 100% right. I was cheekily in the title talking about, could Spurs win the league with 200 million worth of investment this summer? And I mean, while anything could happen, you're right, squad depth would come and bite us in the ass inevitably. But I was just thinking about Leicester, obviously that year that Leicester did the impossible and won the league with what I consider to be a very thin squad. And of course, the stars all aligned. They also had a striker that came out of nowhere and was scored, didn't come out of nowhere, but after some not great seasons had started to, just absolutely bang them in, couldn't stop scoring goals. So that's one reason why I think out of that 200, you would have to get a striker. I mean, if we want to compete for things next season, we need to have Sonny on the wing, and we need to have a striker that can put in at least 20 goals.
Yeah.
And so
Vardy and Iniachu stepped up as well, Colin. I mean, he wasn't firing on all cylinders, but that season he played quite well. And then Vardy was just like scoring for fun.
Yep. Yeah, Vardy was an absolute menace that season. So, I mean, I agree with Destiny here that we probably won't have the squad depth to do it, but hopefully we can, get a cup win. I don't know. I hold out some hope that maybe, especially if we chose one of the cups to kind of prioritize, I think that we could. I want to win Europa League.
I'm like, the last time I went to the town hall, I don't even think we had a League Cup one. I don't think they did it, did they? When we won the League Cup, they didn't do a parade. I'm sure they didn't, because I can't remember going to it. And I've been to every single parade since I was born. I even went to the 1967 one because my dad put me on his shoulders. And the town hall was just literally about 200 yards from my home.
Oh, wow.
That's how near it was.
I think we should park Parkour thoughts of the FA Cup, because that doesn't come till the first week in January. We should go strong in the League Cup with our strongest team.
Yeah.
Then because we've got 8 games in the Europa League, 4 at home, 4 away, and it will be against 8 different teams. So you don't know if you're going to get the stronger team home or away, right? We should go hell for leather in the Europa League, win at least 4 to 5 of those games to give us 3 dead rubbers so as we can play the youngsters.
Yeah. Good
that would be
idea.
ideal. Man, if it all works out that way, I will be so happy. Real quick, our resident, one of our resident scouts in a hype, talking about Anton Stock from Hoffenheim, defensive mid, and then he's got his season's data.
Wow.
Big lad, 6'4".
That is fast as well. 33.8 kilowatt. Is that kilometers? Is it? Or
yeah.
I don't know what kmh stands for, but I would say
kilometers per hour.
Kilometers per hour.
Yeah. So hey, that'd be awesome if we need another. I mean,
wow.
We know that Ange likes speed, so
and he's
could be a good one.
Like Van der Ven. Yeah.
Hiroki Ito's no slouch though either.
Anton Stach. Is he German? Anton Stach.
I'm assuming. Hold on, let me Google.
You look him up as well. Anton Stach. All these names popping out.
He's German. He's a German. So maybe
German
we could.
Players are normally very good, aren't they? Oh yeah, he's quite good looking as well. Sorry.
There you go. Ellie's sold.
My husband's away. Oh, he doesn't look so good looking now. Sorry.
So, oh no, you're good. But Frimpong, why don't I know anything about him? Where is he playing currently?
By Leverkusen, Frimpong one side, Grimaldo's on the other side.
Yeah.
But they play. Are just super.
But they play a 3-5-2. Hence why you've got Tar, Tapsoba, and there's another centre back they've got there. Hincapié hasn't been getting into the team. And they've played with Grimaldo and Frimpong. Jeremy Frimpong. He used to play. I can't remember who he used to play, but I think he might have even played here in England. Was he an ex-Man City graduate? And he left Man City. But anyway, he's a really good player.
It does sound like it might be right.
But I'm not sure whether Grimaldo and Frimpong, absolutely fantastic left and right wing backs. Absolutely, but. Could they do it as an actual fullback? Could they do it in an inverted role? I'm not sure. So
I don't think Leverkusen are going to sell them, are they? They're not going to sell them after they won the league convincingly.
Money, you know this already, Ellie. Money talks, man. If you give an offer that someone can't refuse, they're going to take it, aren't they?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So,
I'm just reading on Twitter on shit at the moment. Someone called Toxic Headshot has put out a tweet. Saying that breaking Tottenham and Genoa are in full agreement. It's a done deal awaiting confirmation of the fee. Believed to be between 10 and 15 million. So I think that's crap because then it says Emerson is also close to becoming an AC Milan player in the same tweet.
We've got 5 out then, or is it 6?
That's on the same tweet.
Yeah.
Interesting. So wait, what makes you think it's crap? What about it says?
The fee.
Well,
the fee is crap.
10 to 15 million for Spence. I think he's worth that money, to be honest. I think he's probably worth more than 15 million, to be honest.
With add-ons, maybe, because there'll be a sell-on.
But I don't see him getting that kind of money for him. But so to me, reading the tweet, it all sounds really good until I saw the money. But I like the in-between, the meat and the sandwich I don't like. I like the fact that they said they've agreed. And I like the thing about Emerson. But when I saw the fee between the middle, I was just like, oh, okay, fair enough.
No mention of Goodmanson from Genoa then?
Romano, 9 hours ago, said Genoa keep advancing in talks with Tottenham to sign Djed Spence on a permanent transfer after a successful loan spell. Negotiations continue with all parties, keen on reaching an agreement in June. Genoa also approached Olympique Marseille to keep Vitinha, but only on loan. So they've asked to keep another player. They had 2 loan players last year, but they've asked to buy Spence and re-loan Vitinha again.
Interesting. Who would have thought that the Spence deal would turn out like this? Because there was so much promise around him, and I would love to be a fly on the wall and to know what happened, why it all kind of broke down. You hear like rumblings of attitude problems, but to be honest, if there's a young player and they aren't playing, attitude problems is like the first thing that's thrown out. So that may or may not be true. I don't know. But
Colin, but there's more than that, because before he even came to us, he was at Leeds, and even the Leeds community told us all about him before he came to us. When Conte when Djed Spence was signed, apparently as a club signing under Conte, the rumours that were coming out is that because he wasn't playing, his family turned up to the training ground and started having a go at the Tottenham staff and all that, saying, my son's brilliant, my son should be playing in the team, blah, blah, blah. So there's no smoke without fire. You get it from the league supporters from when he was there.
The same issue as when he was loaned out to Middlesbrough.
Yeah, when he was loaned to Middlesbrough, Forest didn't want him because Forest said he was a troublemaker at Forest, hence why they'd loaned him to Middlesbrough. So there's no smoke without fire, Colin. Now, whether he's grown up, okay, let me take that back. There's no smoke without fire. Whether all these things that I'm saying are true or not, I don't know, but they're the rumours. But then there's also part of adolescence, part of growing up.
Yeah. And also the money in football spoils footballers sometimes. It really does. They get
and their families.
Yeah, it does. They act like sport brats. And it's like when you give a child loads of toys, they're bound to throw one out of the bloody basket, and they really are sport footballers. They're getting about the minimum 40,000 a week for just an average footballer in the Premiership, and most of them are getting 100k plus. Yeah,
it's insane. But yeah, I mean, I think you're going to say it's a shame, and it definitely is. Especially, I was so excited for Spence to come in, but Jose, I don't think that fee is totally unreasonable. Like, I mean, what I'm saying is, I could see us getting 10 for him. 15, I guess, is on the higher
But what's
end.
interesting though, Colin, is that, and Adrian might remember this as well. Didn't he have a release? Wasn't there some sort of? It was an obligation to buy him when he sent him last season, and it was 8.5 million. That's what I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was an 8.5 million obligation to buy. So, and then there's rumours saying that they didn't want to pay the 8.5 million. They were haggling with Tottenham to pay 5 or 6. Is where Adrian said then they'll put the rest in add-ons to make the rest of it up. But to jump from 8.5 million. Right, to go from 8.5 million to Genoa only wanting to pay 5 or 6 to now somebody saying 10 to 15, that's big jumps. They're not baby steps, they're huge jumps.
We don't know the true figures. This is a media speculation on price. Correct. I would say like Spurs aren't paying the extra 5 million and blah, blah, blah. And then you find out at the end of the window, we weren't even in for that player in the first place.
Correct.
I mean,
so annoying, isn't it?
When there's talk, the reason I like the Eze talk, it says Johan Lang is talking to Crystal Palace. Now, you don't talk to the club about a fee if you haven't really sounded out the player that he wants to come. So as he wants to come, so they obviously they've agreed wages with him, agreed to deal with his agent. Now it's just a question of the rumoured now. First it was like 55 to 60 mil. Now the latest rumour is 60 mil plus 8 million add-ins. Yeah. 8 is a pretty specific figure to mention. Whether it's true or not, who knows? I mean,
Adrian, can I ask you a question? Is it the agents that move the goalposts or the clubs, or a bit of both?
You never had this in the past, Ellie, with players. When Nicholson bought a player, the next thing you heard about in the papers the next day. Yeah. Agents like to create a bidding war. They get more money, don't they? So
they do.
Agents cause a lot down settle. A lot of fan bases out there.
They're just like leeches. Are they going to stop the agents from doing this?
No, they can't.
No.
They're third parties.
It's a shame, It's such a shame that there's agents about.
I mean, all this talk about tapping up. I mean, like,
what's wrong with them having
goes on outside the clubs now, but it is really the clubs tapping them up. We do tap up players. Every club does it.
Every club does it.
But
you just don't want to doing it.
To do the tapping up. That's the only difference,
Yeah,
but we used to have managers that used to do the tapping up, didn't we? We used to have Terry Venables, Eltel used to do some tapping up. So
Harry
Redknapp used to do a bit of tapping up, and that.
He'll swear at you if you say that.
Who's that?
Harry Redknapp, because you've got it on the brands. You know, when they say you're a wheeler dealer, and he goes, "F off."
Tottenham had managers where we didn't have to rely on agents to do the tapping up. We had our managers doing it.
There were times though, whenever we felt like it was happening to us, and we felt aggrieved. So
if they could
it's crazy how much.
And get him out of my life, that'd be brilliant.
Oh my gosh! Hey, you know that there's been talks.
I think he's going to go to Napoli, isn't he, with Conte?
That would be
Conte,
that would be something. Yeah,
I mean, Bayern definitely tapped up Harry Kane, didn't they? It went on, didn't it? You know.
Yeah.
You think this is a player that gets vilified, and Mourinho and Conte, two of the best managers in the Premier League and worldwide, want Højbjerg, so he can't be that shit.
I don't believe for 1 minute that Conte is going to come to Tottenham for any of the players. I don't believe that for 1 minute. But people were saying he's going to come back for Højbjerg and for Kulusevski. I don't think he's coming back for either.
You don't think so?
Nah.
Well, Højbjerg's agent's gone to Italy, so that makes sense.
Yeah, but that's because Salernitana or Sassuolo, one of the relegated teams, want to buy him for their Serie B for next season.
Oh man, shots fired, guys.
You troublemaker, Jose.
I know.
Troublemaker.
Trying to start fights.
We only recently completed the Decky deal anyway. After the loan deal was up, we've only recently completed, so he's on a contract. No one's leaving Spurs unless Ange wants them to go. No one's going anywhere.
Hey, real quick, I just wanted to point out this. First of all, to say hi to David Clark, because this is the first I think I've seen your name in the chat today, David. Hope you're doing well, man. He says, though, that Palace said they have a list of 3 players of which they're willing to sell 1. If Levy doesn't pay the 60 million exit clause for Eze and Chelsea come in for Elise, then we won't get Eze.
We'll get Eze. Chelsea.
David Clark is the man of doom.
No, I like it though.
One, doesn't he? Yeah.
He's hitting us with a dose of realism, though.
I like it. David.
Yeah,
you know, keep on dropping those bombs.
So I guess if Eze didn't come, and if that Eze deal falls through, have you guys heard about any like alternatives, or are there any players that you guys would like as an alternative to Eze? Yeah, like if we didn't get him, if something happened.
I like Pellegrini of Roma. I think he's a very good player, very tenacious. He's a box to box. I like him because when he carries the ball, he's very tenacious. If he loses it, he wants to win it back straight away. You know, and very good for going forward, linking up play. You know, he's a very experienced player as well. Played in the top league in Italy. You know, they build them tough in Italy. They don't take no prisoners. So if he can survive that league, he can survive the Premiership. I think he's a very good player.
That's not a bad shout. I always hear people saying that the Italian league is slow compared to the Premier League. And I can't comment on that with a ton of, I can't be too sure about it.
I think the Premiership is very rush. You know, when you go in rush hour in London.
You guys ready for a list? You guys ready for a list?
Yeah, we're ready.
Right, we've been ready.
We're born ready.
6 players Bayern Munich said are available to go this summer if they receive suitable offers, right?
Yeah.
Kingsley Coman. Serge Gnabry.
Oh, yes.
Leon Goretzka. Joshua Kimmich.
Yes.
Nuswa Mazraoui.
He's fantastic.
Wow. And Matthias de Ligt.
Wow.
4 out of those 6
are
very attacking
Can we
players.
buy 6, please?
Adrian, what do you reckon on them 6, mate?
Right, hang on.
Adrian's he's going to have a lie down now if we get all those 6.
He's salivating about these 6.
Yeah, he's
Can you repeat them, please? I wasn't concentrating, so I was looking at something else.
So Bayern are allowing 6 players to leave if suitable offers come in the summer.
Yeah,
it's been announced. Kingsley Coman, Serge Gnabry, Leon Goretzka, Joshua Kimmich, Nusa Mazraoui, and Matthias de Ligt.
Wow.
Yeah. Joshua Kimmich for sure, I think we would benefit.
Oh, yeah.
Gnabry destroyed us in the 7-2 game, didn't he?
He did. But as a former Arsenal guy,
years ago, You know what? I don't know how old these players are, but they've put on a few years since we played them. They spanked us 7-2 at the stadium. I was at the game, unfortunately.
Oh shit!
I'll be looking at their ages, and I'll also be wondering why Bayern are getting rid of them.
Because they've got a new manager who's coming in and he's got and cleared the deck and put a stamp on his own team. To be honest with you, right, I'm looking at all them 6 and I'm saying,
Mitch.
Okay, I'm saying all them 6 improve Tottenham, no doubt.
Well, Gnabry has a bit of injury prone. He spent a lot of the season injured.
Yeah,
Mazarawi.
I don't know enough about these players. I don't know enough about
he's a young player, isn't he?
No, Mazarawi, he's a guy. He's Tunisian or Moroccan. He played left back for Ajax when we played him in the semi-final with the champs, and then he went to Bayern, and he actually played really well against us. He's a left. He can play your inverted role comfortably at left. Mazarawi.
How do you spell his name?
Mazarawi's Mazraoui.
Okay. Got him. Nozia.
Noussair Mazraoui.
26 years old.
Right, and he's a left back.
Yeah.
Quick, very quick.
Leon Goretzka, who's a superb holding midfielder.
Physical player too.
Yeah. Kimmich can be your holding. He can play as an 8 holding. He can play at fullback. He can play in a multitude of positions. Kimmich. Kingsley Coman and Gnabry are wide forwards. And Matthias de Ligt, for me, he's a top centre off.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I wonder why they would be so willing to let him go. You would think that de Ligt out of all of them would be one of the ones they would be looking to keep just because.
De Ligt's only 24.
That's come out from Pletty.
He linked up with Dyer. He wasn't even playing. He was on the bench behind. What's his name?
Upamecano
and the Beast. Or the Monster, whatever they call him.
All 3 of them. When Kane went in January, Kane had a different partner near enough every game because Dyer became the number 1 centre half, and he either partnered Kim Min-jae, Matthias de Ligt, or the other centre half, Upamecano.
So,
yeah, they all got dropped for Dyer when Dyer came to the club.
Yep.
So,
and it was Dyer and de Ligt for the most part. They played. They
but that's been broken recently, 14 minutes ago, and that was broken by Pletty, who's a tier 1 source.
Bayern Munich appointed a manager now.
Yeah, Vincent Kompany.
Oh right, yes. Bloody hell, my mind went blank. Yeah, Vincent Kompany. How did he go?
Wait, when the hell did that happen?
Oh, you didn't know about that?
A big step up.
Oh,
last week.
I've been hiding under a rock. Jesus, that's quite crazy.
He's a talented footballer, and he would be a fantastic coach. He's just, he's done his best for Burnley, but they went down.
Burnley just couldn't. Unfortunately, they couldn't replicate their championship form in the Premier League. He just didn't have the players to implement the style that he wanted. But wow, it'll be cool to see what he can do with all this talent that he's now got at his fingertips.
Vincent Kompany, man.
Yeah, that's good for him.
And money for de Ligt, Bayern Munich. Didn't he come from Barca?
Yeah.
Who's that? De Ligt.
Yeah.
De Ligt went from Ajax.
Juventus.
He came from Ajax because he played against
He went from Ajax to Juve to Bayern.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Why
was I thinking Barca as well? Adrian?
Is it because
you might be thinking of
he scored against us in the Champions League.
What's his name? De Jong. You might be thinking of De Jong.
Oh, that's
De Ligt must be 24, 25 because he was 18. He was really young when he played against Tottenham in the Champions League final.
He was 4 years. He was 20 when he scored.
That was quite a team. That was quite an Ajax team.
Ajax deserved to beat us.
Generational team for sure.
Ten Hag was the manager, and after that Champions League semi-final, after their defeat, their team was decimated. They sold players left, right, and centre to loads of other clubs.
Went. A lot of their players went. Could you imagine if they'd beaten us? They'd probably still be playing together.
I wasn't.
Yep.
He's a good player, De Ligt. I was a bit like that with him,
Hey, real quick, in a hype, who are you speaking of here that got 21 assists in the championship? I can't find the first half of that. but
21 assists.
Yeah, that's a hell of a lot of assists.
There wasn't anybody at my husband's team, QPR. I'll tell you that.
Love it.
Could
Love
it be
it.
names? Could it be names that I'm looking before? I
21
can't see
assists.
who he's talking about. Yeah, in a hype, we'll have to let us know. I can't see.
I'll Google it. 21 assists.
So
in the championship.
Donna Cullen is letting us know that De Ligt can play on both sides. He can play right and left. I just wonder which is his predominant foot. I'm looking at it.
I want to say he was playing on the right and Dyer was
He's
playing on
right-footed.
the left.
It's,
Yeah.
21 assists. Davis of Ipswich is the top of the assisters in the championship. So I don't know what his first name. It just says Davis.
Oh, so
He got 18 assists. It says he was so he's number one.
Somerville is this who we're talking about here?
Somerville.
He plays for Leeds. He's the winger.
Somerville only got 9
Reviews
assists.
this year.
And then it could mean overall in their time in the championship. I'm not 100%
Oh yeah,
sure.
maybe yeah.
Alfonso Davies says Donna. Nope, that doesn't sound right.
He's going to Real Madrid.
Leif Davies.
Leif Davis. Well, he said he got 18 assists here, not 21. So this must be accurate because that's his stats. Unless he got
Interesting.
3 in the cup. He might
I
have
bet
got
that's what it is. A cup
Yeah.
or something. He got a couple
Yeah,
assists.
this is
That's
So
that's
the latest name that we've got today, and I don't know, Adrian. I don't know if you've done it on you've done it on your Facebook. Is a guy called Chris Furrick, Fuhrich.
Yeah, another winger. I'll tell you what, there's not a shortage of out there is wingers. He plays in German Bundesliga, doesn't he? There's not. I mean, there's wingers seem to be in an abundance out there. You should be able to pick a good one up cheap. And most of them you go to, their fans all say, "Yeah, he's good, but he's a bit inconsistent." And that's the same talk you get for all of them, basically.
Every single one of them. That's right.
Yeah, and you know that wingers very rarely dominate a game for 60 minutes, let alone the whole game, So, yeah, he's got good rap, but leave it to the data analytics guys, and then you send your chief scout or his scouts to go and have a look at the guy, don't you? That's the normal thing.
So
But
Armstrong.
look, I go by a little tip here. My little tip is we're a week away from the transfer window, right? We're now being tipped by any man and his dog, right? That is bad, right? The reason that is bad is because we should already have a list of players that we're going for as soon as that window opens. We shouldn't be looking now at all this speculation that's coming in.
I think we have. But I think we have, Adrian.
Yeah, I think we have as well. So I'm
I think
confident
we
we
have.
have. Actually.
I thought that's what they said about Ange, that he already had.
All these links this next week coming up to the window. I mean, I post them because it's news. You never know; they might gain traction. But like, I'm ignoring them because we should have that list. If it's strikers, it's going to be Tony and Jimenez, right? We're in for Eze. We know we're strongly linked with Gallagher, and then you take your choice and all these others, don't you? And midfielders and defenders and stuff like that. But we know those 4 are in the frame. So any new one like this Furrick coming in now on the wing, please spare me.
With
Those
this
4
Jimenez,
is a pretty good window.
with this Jimenez talk though, and him coming, from the Dutch league, and with our own Troy Parrott scoring not as many goals, but having a really good season in the same league, are you guys at all worried that Jimenez won't be able to cut the mustard if he comes here? Like that he won't be able to make the jump up? It wouldn't be the first time that Vincent Janssen, had a really good season or half season or something in the same league and came over and couldn't do it. I don't know. I almost just wonder if we're really thinking about splopping out a whole bunch of money for Jimenez and maybe
I
just
think
compare
even though Jimenez has dropped off a little bit towards the end of the season, his goal scoring and strike rate's good. This is where I don't believe we did the data analytics on Jensen. Even on Bergwijn, I see him playing for Feyenoord. I thought this guy's fast, but
And Dembele.
I wasn't that impressed. I thought he's all pace, and I'm sick of tired of players with pace that can't finish. Like Adam Traore. Werner's a better version than him. I'm like, what's your end product like? You know,
Clinton NG.
Yeah.
And Cuckoo.
Kudu. Yeah, a little thing here, guys. I don't think we should go for anyone who's got an N in their surname. Ndombele, NG, Nkudu, right? I don't think we should go with anyone with an N in their surname, right?
Yeah.
Wonder how Nkunku's doing over at Chelsea. He might be the exception to that rule. But
there's a 5'6" player, 5'6", right? He's 28 years old for Blackburn, called Sami Szmodic. He scored 27 goals last season in 44 games and 4 assists.
Player of the championship. He will go for big money to a club. He's similar, same as Gerrit Gyökeres last year for Coventry.
If we can get, even if we get, say, 15, 16 goals out of him, that's fantastic.
Schmodic has smashed the championship.
Good players go from there before in the lower division. When that Brereton Diaz went from there, he ended up at Luton and played against us, didn't he?
He's English. He's actually English, but he's got a Polish name.
Is he?
Yeah, I think that's Polish anyway. Szmodic.
Nothing wrong with Polish names, Ellie.
I'm quite good because I worked at the Department of Social Security and we had every single name under the sun.
And don't leave anything lying around because I'll nick it, because my surname Soroka means magpie in Poland, right? In Polish.
That's it.
Nice.
And I'll nick anything, right? So don't leave shiny lying around.
Destiny reckons that Szmodic's going to go abroad.
Oh, that's a shame.
When he told me about his size, I thought maybe the same thing too. You know what I mean?
5'6". Anyway, what's wrong with 5'6"? I'm 5'6".
Oh, nothing's wrong. Nothing's inherently wrong. Just, he might get bullied a bit. He might get bullied a bit.
My Luka Modric is only 5'7".
Yeah, no, for sure. There definitely are exceptions, but I can't help but accidentally, but think of Brian Hill when I think of small, short little guys.
Yeah, that's an exception. There's loads of players. Messi's 5'7". Yeah. Lots of little players. What's his name? The one for Chelsea. Zola.
Szmodic plays for Ireland. I had no idea.
Brilliant player.
Daniel's saying he doesn't know if he's
gravity as well.
That is true. They're harder to take down. Tevez, I know Tevez wasn't as short, but Tevez was a good example of that too. I think a guy that wasn't super tall, but very strong on his feet, very hard to take down. So. Yeah.
Oh, he's Irish. Oh, he's Polish-Irish.
Polish-Irish.
There's a connection there with the Catholic bit, isn't it?
So what have we got here? Real quick, I just Swap pointed out. He said from Jedson, Doherty, etc. to Kulu, Bentancur, Van de Ven, Vicario, and Udogie. We've come a long way.
We have.
And he's saying so moaning. We should rather trust our recruitment staff. After all, it was created by footballing brains like Scott Munn of Citigroup, Don Paratici, and Johan Longa, who started the foundation for rise of Aston Villa. Yeah, absolutely. I think we're in a good spot now, as good as we've ever been when it comes to incoming transfers, because it seems like Levy will have the least input that he's had ever. And the guys that we put in place all seem to be very confident. Chris Aguilar!
I think Levy's down the bottom, with the F1 Formula car, the F1 Formula, what are they called?
Go-karts?
Go-karting.
Yeah.
But he's probably riding those every day because he loves F1, doesn't he?
Yeah. Didn't Tottenham own like an F1 car or something at one point?
No.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised. He loves his Formula One, and the company I used to work for, Marcus Evans, we did Formula One. So I was destined to go to Formula. Well, I went to one, and then I was going to go to another one in Dubai, and I was really looking forward to it. But my mother got very ill, and I had to. It's a shame. I would have gone to Dubai and lived the hot life.
That would have been. I've never. Obviously, I've never been to Dubai. Well, I guess that's not obvious. I've never been to Dubai. Seems like a great place to go, especially if you got some money to throw around.
It's like
where Arsenal went, didn't they? And they didn't win the league. Well done, Dubai.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Destiny points out, though, no matter how far Levy is down the line of who's making the choices, it all depends on whether or not he releases the funds. By all accounts, we're going to. Yeah, by all accounts, we're going to.
Well, you know what'll happen. I mean, like, well, Levy has supposedly stepped aside, isn't it? That's why you brought Scott Munn in. So you've got Scott Munn, Johan Lange, Chief Scout Rob McKenzie, and you've got Ange. And they're the four that decide on transfers. And they compile lists. And because Ange can't do it all, he says, I want this type of player, box to box, 8, 6, defender, whatever. They go and get a list. They put them in front of Ange. Ange probably goes and has a look and says, I like the look of so-and-so, so-and-so. Keep those top 3 on that list. Keep those on that list and have a look. He probably does it. And then it's a question of how much money Levy has given Scott Munn as a budget. I mean, if it's not a reasonable about sum, and on average, look, since 2019 when we opened the stadium, we spent 685 million on 29 players. I couldn't name 9 good ones out of that. Mind you, recently, perhaps, like, because we failed better in the transfer market, as Matey said earlier, he posted up, like, that we've done better. We have done better. So, but 20 of those players, you could probably say, well, they were just part of the pain we were going through, So,
well, in my limited experience with Spurs, I think it seems like Levy likes his group to play things close to the chest, I like Vicario kind of under the radar, Van de Ven under the radar. They kind of pop up with these. Basuma, when we bought Basuma, that was like, boom, done. I don't remember there being a whole lot of talk about buying Basuma. Yeah. Suddenly we had him.
I know.
Basuma was, if he would just be that same player that he was at Brighton, but he hasn't been. I mean, if we got that Basuma, or if he was playing to that level, it'd be the best bit of business in years, I feel like, for Spurs. But we just haven't got him. We just haven't got him up to speed or whatever is going wrong.
Or get young players who have yet to get an agent.
I think Basuma has quite a lot of health problems because, like, a lot of rumours around the club is that he had long COVID. I don't know whether that was true, but that was the rumour.
Malaria.
And then he had malaria, and that does take its wind out of you because he seemed very lethargic. Like he didn't have energy. And he wasn't driving forward with the ball, so that's not Basuma like. Basuma is noted for his driving of the ball and his high energy. And I remember he played against Harry Kane when they beat us 1-0 when Trossard scored in the last minute, and he was fabulous in that game. He actually had Harry Kane in his pocket, and that is hard to do.
Had him on toast.
He had him on toast, and then we played him in the FA Cup, and he scored a worldie, and he played really well that game as well. But we're not seeing the same Basuma. I think maybe he has got health problems. It doesn't seem like he's...
I thought he showed a bit better the last couple of games of the season.
Yeah, the last couple of games he did recover, I must admit, and it was more like the Basuma that we know. I just hope we get the Basuma of that first 10 games, or just how he played at Brighton, because that's why we bought him. I just want to see that Basuma because he's exciting like that.
Soren agrees too.
Does that quick reverse turn, loses a player and opens up a lot of space on the field to play the ball or charge into. I mean,
he's got all the minerals.
And he used to, instead of Maddison coming back in 10 games to pick the ball up by the back 4, Basuma was doing that. But Basuma's lack coming back because he's been at fault, being lazy coming back, tracking back to he's been getting sometimes probably a bit too far forward when he should have been coming back to receive the ball to help the 2 central centre-backs out. Because when Vidi went across to cover for him, and for Udogie, who didn't get back, we conceded a goal, didn't we, against an easy goal. They just came straight for our middle, you know what I mean? It was just he needs to... Look, I'm a fan of Kulu. Listen, you don't get your mojo back, you don't play, as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean?
I think Jose's gone to cook, hasn't he?
I think so. He did say, he's put a comment in here to the guys that if we could, and if you haven't already,
well trained, I'm telling you.
They do. They sure do. But guys, if you haven't yet, please make sure you do sub over to Jose and I'll tell Cockrell. There is the link right there. And then here's the link too if you're watching on Team Tottenham Go's stream, because we're streaming both from Talking Ball and Team Tottenham Go today. So if you're watching from one, do what?
Have you merged with Team Tottenham Go?
That's Alan's channel. We're just
that's your
doing
channel,
some work
Alan.
together.
Yes,
Lovely.
Ellie, I have. I've
I didn't
subscribed.
realise, Alan, that was your name, Team Top. That's a really great name.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Yeah, it's catchy.
Yeah, definitely. That it
lovely.
is. That it is.
Team Tottenham goal. Yeah.
Yeah. So, real quick, just wondered if you guys had time. So I've got to go in just a short amount of time here, but I wanted to do a quick keep, bench, and sell. But this one is a weird one. Let me make sure I have it saved, of course.
This is
Is this a keeper West Ham?
So this one,
keep, bench, or sell.
Yeah, and I want to take players. Yeah. I want to take strikers that have failed at Spurs, and then I want to,
the big flops.
To then have us say which one would do the best in this Ange system. In this Ange system. So, if you guys are ready, I will.
Come on then.
Play the beautiful intro that everybody loves.
Oh, I love this intro.
You've
got new music on it, or you?
No, I just take the hit. It's okay. They just say, "Hey, don't." So no worries. Here we go. Hello. It is time for Keeper West Ham. Guys, this one, like I said, is purposefully weird. And we'll go ahead and we'll do a keep, a bench, and a sell. But I want you to try to think in terms of how they would fit into this system that Ange plays. You could call all these guys flops. You could say one of them, maybe not. But Soldado, Adebayor, and Vincent Janssen. So yeah, I just wanted to pick you guys' brains out of their play style, out of the way that we're playing now. Who looks like they would finish the most chances in this system?
Holy moly!
Yeah, because I honestly, for me, I think it's easy, but only because of how we play and the way that where the ball ends up, and the way the wingers are playing the ball in and. Yeah, I don't want to give you mine yet, though.
I can go first, I guess.
Alan, yeah, do it.
Wow. So Adebayor, I would probably keep. I would bench Roberto Soldado, and I'd sell Vincent Janssen.
He's gone.
Bye, Vinny.
Bye, Vincent.
And Ellie, let's get yours next.
I agree. Adebayor, like at the far post, heading them in, just tapping them in, because he wasn't a very industrious player in terms of getting about the pitch. He's more like a flair player, wasn't he? But Soldado was pretty decent footballer. He was just not a good finisher in the Premiership. So I'd bench him, and then off you go to West Ham, Vincent Janssen, who didn't quite make it at Spurs.
I know. I thought he was going to be the perfect Harry Kane backup. He really did look like he had it all. Could finish with both feet
as well, didn't he? He put on a little bit of bandage, and when he arrived at Spurs, they needed to get him fixed. They didn't even make the first team at first.
Yeah, that's never a good look. That's never a good start to your career in a team. Adrian Stroka, are you going to go with the crowd here?
I'm going to change it a little bit. Because I thought Adebayor was a lazy player. I thought Janssen was useless. None of the three of them would press anyway. Yeah, but Soldado would be better in the box for us under an Ange system.
Agreed. I agree so much.
And he would have buried some of them big chances. I've seen Adebayor be fantastic on his day, and also seen him miss chances he should have buried. So I'd keep Soldado, bench Adebayor, and send Janssen to West Ham.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
Adebayor scored that goal for Manchester City when he went all the way to the other half to celebrate in front of the Arsenal fans. That was really cool.
I was going to say that'll go down in history as he'll go down in history for some of the goals he scored and some of the his antics. He definitely could. He had in his locker, the ability to score a great goal and more than one kind of goal. Like you were, he could head them in, he could tap ins, he had some long range shots that were really nice, but he wasn't consistent. You know what I mean? There was no consistency to his game. Yeah. That's my biggest problem. And Soldado, there was a reason why for it was either 3 or 4 years in a row he was the third leading scorer in La Liga behind Messi and Ronaldo. And it's because dude could finish chances in the box. And I know he didn't do it well here, but we also didn't feed him many chances in the box. Whereas now we play all those low crosses, fizzed across the face of goal. I think he would do well.
I was biased against Soldado because he was bought with Bale money, and I was so sad when Bale left.
Yeah. And I remember once we were playing in Europe, and myself and my cousin didn't get into the game, and he hadn't scored. I think for about 20 games he hadn't scored, and he scored 2 goals that game in the European game. I can't remember who we were playing. I think we were in the Europa Cup though, and we missed both goals. And my cousin turned to me and said, "Just stand up. He scores 2 goals and we miss them."
yeah. It's
I'll find out who we were playing because it was in the Europa Cup.
Yeah, let me know. Soren here says he'd like to see Soldado in this system. Soren, I agree. It would be sweet. Destiny 5 though is keep it out of your bench in Soldado, selling Vincent Janssen. So the same as you and Ellie. Audio, same thing. Hype saying so many catalog poses. Yeah, they're looking good, man. Ryan G again. Everyone. So this is definitely the winner today. Keep Adebayor, bench Soldado, sell Janssen. This is Ryan G. Soren saying Soldado was a better player than he showed. Never got any service when playing for us. 100% agree. 100%.
He was a good footballer. You know, he could play a bit.
Yeah. Oh, and he was our record transfer, fee at the time. I mean, that does mean something.
Didn't we buy like 6 players at the same time with him? It was like a group of 6 with the Bale money.
Yeah, 7. The Magnificent 7. But yeah, so we had real quick. We had Kirikesh, we had Soldado, we had Lamela, we had Eriksson. Paulinho. Yeah. I'm having trouble remembering who the other 2 were, but yeah, we got a bunch of players that I thought. Oh, Chadley, and then there's one more.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Nasser Chadley. That's right.
I missed Chadley. Okay. He was.
Yeah, he was okay.
Yeah.
He was always good for a goal. Even if he would go missing a lot, but off the bench he was pretty good. He was a pretty good option.
Right. Not too bad.
And Hype says, "Fuck a duck, man. I'm tormented." Boom. That's what I like to do with these. Audio Artisan said on his day, Adebayor had world-class ability. He sure did. He just didn't have world-class determination or attitude. Ryan G says, the goal Adebayor scored against Tottenham at White Hart Lane. What a goal. Luckily, I don't remember it.
Yeah.
The one thing Arsenal fans and Tottenham fans agree is we both hate Adebayor, says Daniel.
We beat them 5-1, though, so that was good. And he scored their only goal.
Oh, okay, yeah, well, then I'm fine with it. When Janssen popped back up for Holland during the World Cup, I was shocked. I thought he would be lost in Mexico forever. Yeah, he was doing well, though. He won a title, was playing at a really nice stadium. I could get it. Yeah, he's Chadley and Etienne Capoue or Capoue or however you want to pronounce that was the other guy. Yeah. I forgot about him as well. He seemed like another good player that I think his attitude wasn't great from what I heard, but he was definitely a solid enough midfielder. Yeah. And then we got David Clark's answer. He says, keep Adebayor, bench Soldado, Janssen disappear.
Yep.
Ooh, Thanos snapped and he's gone. I was about to say, did Capoue play at Spurs? He knew it. Adebayor battered us for Real Madrid too. That's a good point. I forgot about his stint with Madrid. Wow. And then Brandon's talking about us, says, to the American fan on the panel, you do know Spurs are a small club. You could have picked Chelsea or Arsenal among the London clubs. So why the hell Spurs?
Why Spurs?
funny question. I like the way they play. Harry Redknapp. That was about when I started to take a big interest in.
Yeah.
And
Brendan Fraser. Yeah, but you can't talk about your club being a Chelsea fan because you don't know if you're going to be found guilty when you're charged, in which case you could find yourself relegated, mate. So I wouldn't start shouting too much about anything because the sword of Damocles is hanging over Chelsea's head at the moment.
Hell yes! Look at this, Soren, because Spurs are the greatest team in the world. Hell
That's
yeah,
right.
Soren. Hell yeah! I appreciate you, man.
I know. For me, I was I liked Gareth Bale.
Oh yeah, how could you?
When he was really young, I was a really big Bale fan, and I personally like the underdog. I don't like to just jump on a bandwagon just because a team is big, therefore I should like them. I just like that. I remember the game I watched when I was looking for a team to back, and I watched Spurs playing, and I watched Bale, and I was like, you know what, this is the team for me.
That's it.
Man, Gareth Bale, Aaron Lennon bombing down the wings. We had Van der Vaart. We had, we were just cooking. We had all kinds of fun players back then.
Mm-hmm.
And I like Spurs too because it's like they could rock up against anybody and they could win or they could lose, but it was just never like the result was predetermined ever. And I like that too. What fun is it, if you're a City supporter and you have to, I don't know. Spurs are the greatest team in the world, though. So we're in agreeing completely.
They might have won more, but they've cheated. I'm putting it out there that they cheated, and they're going to be found guilty and relegated to the whatever league, the worst league in the world.
Let's have it. And Brendan Fraser, if you haven't already, since you're here, actually, wait, you commented, you subscribed. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you. And then Daniel's pointing out that Adebayor headbutted his own player in that same game. I'm going to have to look that up. I haven't seen that as well. But Shemtan is in the house. He looks like he's just joined us right before we're about to have to end. Yeah, I love Shemtan. He says, hey, Queen Ellie Hoybier, Benton Core Werner, and Mr. Assistant Colin and Boss Man Jose Mourinho, and Mr. Adrian and Mr. Madness. Hope everyone is doing well today. Late to the party as usual. That's me. Hey, you're all good. We're just glad you made it, bro.
Glad to have you.
I've got a theory about Shemtan that he's like a super spy, and he spies around all the things, and then he goes, which one should I go to? Colin. He always visits you, Colin. He likes you.
He's a good dude. Yeah. I love him.
He's a secret spy. I found the team that Roberto Soldado, he actually scored a hat-trick because I forgot that he scored another one when we got into the match because we were about 30 minutes late getting in, and he scored again. Anzi Makakala. I can't pronounce it. It's worse than my surname. Can you see it? Makakala.
Oh, yeah.
When you get a little bit of time, guys, can you click on the link in the private chat, including you, Ellie, and just subscribe?
Yeah, of course.
Do you want
me to put it in the chat?
I've subscribed to Tottenham.
You can, but it's just a test page for our new group. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Done.
I need to go with Ellie in private. We need to chat after this podcast is over.
Yeah, of course.
You've got 4 subscribers. We've got 4 subscribers, and I'm even going to like the scarf. Lovely.
There you go. Boom.
You have to click on both links, Adrian.
Is there 2 links there? I don't know what I'm doing with this, to be honest with you.
Don't worry.
We'll sort it out afterwards, yeah?
Yeah, no, it's okay. There's 2 links there, but we'll subscribe to both of them and then subscribe to all. That's it.
So...
Well done, Adrian.
We need music. We need to put them intros on. I need Chang on.
Chang can hook you up.
Yeah.
So, guys, I am going to have to go. I've lost track of time again. I do it a lot. But, I didn't manage my time well, so I'm going to have to end kind of abruptly. But before that, I want to get some links thrown up here. Of course, we've got Team Tottenham Go, where my co-host today, Alan, is found. So let me get his link put up in there.
Thank you.
Of course, everybody, you might be watching on his channel, but if you're not, please make sure.
I'm subscribed.
that
So,
you
Alan,
Thank
subscribe.
you.
It's okay.
Thank you.
I'll get you some more subscribers. I'll put it out there in our community for you.
Thank you so much.
Al, you're the best. You're the best. So there's Team Tottenham Go. Adrian, let me get the Tottenham Till I Die Spurs Die Hards page back up again, so everybody can know where to go for that. And then Ellie, you're all over the place.
I am. I'm like sought after, but then you know what? I like, because my husband's away for 3 days. I've got 3 days of not cooking for him, which is lovely.
Yeah.
Somebody else has to cook for him.
There you go. Perfect.
You know what? I've cooked
Perfect.
for him for 43 years, so I deserve a rest.
Yes.
I would agree.
Yeah.
No, Ellie, you're the best, and I know firsthand your cooking is absolutely sublime. So
Yeah,
you're a
like
wonderful
my meatballs,
cook.
didn't you?
So good, everybody.
Yeah, they were really good. Sometimes I make a really particularly good batch, but it's only for people I really do admire and love. I put a bit of extra effort into it.
Well, I
Bobby
appreciate
K
you more
will
than
batch
you know.
for that.
More love.
Oh yeah, all the love. All
See,
right, but everybody.
Bobby K, I made him macaroni in the oven as well, which is macaroni al forno,
Ooh,
and his
sounds
kids had
good.
2 slices, so they must have
Nice.
that
They
day.
had
I
to,
made
yeah.
it really well. For the party, it was cold, and I said to my brother, "Why did you serve it cold?" I had to go at him. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
You know.
life is good. Life is good.
Yeah.
I just wanted to thank everybody for being here. Oh, thank you, Adrian. This is the link that Adrian put up for us as well. If you guys could click on that and subscribe. This Spurs Diehards, Tottenham Till I Die. It's right. If I
We'll be
understand
going
correctly,
live next week. We'll be
the
going
YouTube
live
presence-
maybe the middle of next week. Yeah.
Perfect.
And we're going to get all the people that invited us onto their shows on anyway, like, so you'll all come on, you know.
I can't wait.
Colin and Alan and Jose, first guests.
Yeah, you can pick the first
Wonderful.
guest. It doesn't matter.
Graham Pennant says, "How dare Brendan call us a small club when Chelsea were nothing themselves before 2004? I know Arsenal were always a big club, but Chelsea were nothing. Roman Abramovich FC, baby." In a hype saying, "Take it as a peeps." Love it. Love the little pun there. In a hype. Thank you, and thank you to everybody who is watching, who has watched. Just please make sure you are subscribing, hitting the like. It all means a lot. It helps us all out. We really would appreciate
Yes, it
it.
does. Thank you
And,
so much.
Eze was playing for my husband's team, QPR, and I watched him so many times because I went to a lot of QPR games with my hubby, and I thought this player really stands out, you know. And then he went to Palace. Now we've got to get him. We have to get him. Even though I didn't put him in my 3 players, it's because I like to have Paulina, because I think we need that central defensive midfielder who's strong.
I agree.
But I would put Eze and chuck out Lukaku. I'll change my mind.
There you go. All right. I like that better actually too.
Yeah.
Soren's asking if Adrian is only on Facebook. He's also on YouTube, but that link here will get you to where you need to go. So that will help you get him on YouTube. Soren, they said they're starting on next week.
Myself, Adrian, Ian Meth, and Chang. That's the 4.
Damn, that is a dream team right there. That's a good one. That's going to be awesome. Wonderful. Well, everybody, please make sure you catch that. Make sure you catch that, everybody. Subscribe, hit the notification bell so that when they do go live, you'll be notified. But guys, I really do have to run so that I am not late for work. Let me just wanted to say thank you to everyone again. And big up to everybody. Alan, any final thoughts?
No, thank you to everybody that showed up. Jose, I know wherever he went, and Adrian and Ellie, please thank you for showing up and being here with us. And of course, Colin, thank you.
My pleasure.
We have to have some people with some sense come in, so we're glad that you guys showed up.
And then boost everybody else's podcast as well.
Yeah, because we've all got to stick together, us Spurs fans. Even if we don't like each other, we've got to stick to each other.
We all like each other.
I love you two. I mean, and Adrian's not too bad a lad. He's been giving me some brilliant tips for my health, because my health has deteriorated with my legs. And Adrian's really helping me. I had some green beans today, Adrian.
Good.
And it really did help me.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Adrian is the medicine man. But guys, I do have to run. So we're gonna say one more time. Thanks to everyone. And come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Tottenham till we die.
Big up the chat
Spurs
channel.
fans.
And guys,
Right.
one more last thing before, so I don't get killed, and also because I love the man. We need to put in Jose's link one more time.
Yes. Jose.
YouTube.com/.
We had a nice stream today, Colin.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch. Yeah, the one from this morning.
Mark Cousins, Adrian, and who else? Oh, yeah, we had David Shear, but he was in and out.
That's David. That's David and his internet for you, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, guys, there is LTEL's link right there. Please make sure you've liked and subscribed that channel and the videos on that channel. It helps us all. And with that, I really do have to run, so I'm gonna play a little small outro vid, and then we will see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.